traps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Yes, sir. Your boy is back in the building and still wearing that green. I missed been out to Portland a little bit too long. Still rocking green. Portland, had a great time out there. Catch you up in a minute, man. Excited to be back. I feel like I went out to Portland and came back, and the whole landscape of Detroit sports has changed.
A lot has changed.
A lot has changed. People got, some people didn't get paid. Some people got traded, and some people got new members, if you will. Anson, how you doing, man? How you been?
I'm good, man. It's been a long day where we are without Juice Wayne, but we have an amazing team. He's removing himself permanently from Western Michigan University.
Wow.
Oh,
he's moving out of his apartment?
He is.
Finally.
It is all in the past. A sad day for that young man, but he loves it here, so he's going to be just
Those
fine.
are sad days, I will
Good,
say.
man.
I was sad when I moved out, too.
Same.
I love it here, too, man. Went out to Portland, Oregon. I went out there for a wedding. Shout out to Sabrina and Dennis Dixon. If you remember the name Dennis Dixon, he was quarterback of the Oregon Ducks when they ran the Statue of Liberty. Not once, but twice on my alma mater, University of Michigan, I think 2000, at the Big House, 2007. So, yeah, went out there for the wedding. And Portland's just one of those places, small town. Kind of a beautiful city, though, if you will. Mountains, wine country around, things of that nature. The food is really good in the Pacific Northwest. So we ate good. Sushi here, sushi there, sushi everywhere. Got some steak in, got some chill in, and had a good time. We got some videos and stuff, too. Yeah, some pictures and stuff in there from the wedding, from the weekend,
Yes, sir.
if you will.
I'll get
got a
those
lot
right
of
there.
walking in. But got to the wedding, shout out, as you see, me and my date, Brittany, as well as two of my former teammates, Steve Breston and Ryan Mundy. Shout out to Ryan Mundy. He was drafted by the Steelers, played for the Bears, and then Steve Breston drafted to the Arizona Cardinals and played for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. Had a chance to talk to them, catch up, so it was good. Wedding vibes was in the air,
Isn't that
man.
a green dress, though? I thought that was a green.
It was. It was like a Sages type
So
deal.
you guys changed the color on this one?
I used the pocket square. I had a little sage pocket square, if you will.
Hell yeah.
But we were having conversations, man, and before I get into the football side, because when the football news came out, it completely just blew up the wedding for me. I didn't want to talk to anybody about weddings, about dances and songs, anything. I was trying to talk about the Detroit Lions, but they have interesting rules out in Portland as it relates to the homeless situation. The homeless population is massive out there, crazy out there, but unlike a lot of places, homeless people have a lot of, this was my view for the hotel room, this was 5:45 in the morning. You know when you go on that West Coast time, you tend to be stuck over here, so I was wide awake, and this is what it looked like at 4:45 in the morning. But homeless people have a lot of rights out there, man. They're displaced, as they like to say. If they take a tent, wherever they set up, in Portland proper, the Portland city, Portland area, it is now their home. So when you see these tents all around the city of Portland, like, these are actually homes. These are where people live, and they even get mail there. Thought that was crazy. What? They get 100%. They get mail there. I actually saw, so Brittany told me this because she lived out there for a couple of years. She told me this when we were going out there. I said, yeah, whatever. And then fast forward to Sunday, I'm seeing the tents. I'm seeing the people in the space. I'm like, okay, it's like a community. Monday, I saw some mail get delivered.
I was going to say.
Outside the hotel, like not too far from my hotel, like across the street. I saw a mail actually get delivered to a tent.
That must be tough as a mail carrier.
I mean, if it's in your route.
Like, do they have, like
where
addresses?
do you
Are
put
the
it?
addresses printed on the, like, where were the addresses for the tents?
Blue tent on the corner.
Yeah, red tent.
That's
on
not
3rd Street.
Blue tent on the corner. Speaking of blue, one of the things that came out while I was there, and we'll talk about at the end of the show, saw Tarek Skubal got traded.
That happened.
But I was in Portland.
What?
Minor news.
Then I saw something else happen. I was like, but I was in Portland. Then I saw that Devin White is now a Detroit Lion. Let's get into it. When I tell you this is the type of move that moves the needle, this is the type of signing. Now, I don't care why it was signed. I don't care if it was that someone got injured, and I don't think it was Malcolm Rodriguez they were trying to play. I think it was Jimmy Roeder, but Anson had more insight on that a little bit later. You sign a guy like Devin White, oh, my God, I was excited. What position did we spend a lot of time talking about last week?
Linebacker.
Talked about Derek Barnes.
Bobby Wagner, or, you know.
That was I wanted Bobby Wagner all in the offseason. Talked about Derek Barnes. Dan Campbell talked about where Derek Barnes could be better last week. Malcolm Rodriguez, I told you I wasn't necessarily comfortable with the linebacker.
Same.
And then you go out and you get Devin White. This is a move. Like, this is a football move. This is a player. Like, when you go out and get Devin White, now you look at the linebackers. They've gone from a position of question mark to might be one of the top 5 linebacker cores in the league as it is constructed. Like, this is a move. I remember watching the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that Super Bowl run that they had in 2020.
He was the lead over there.
My dad and I were watching it. My dad talked about Devin White every single moment of that playoff run. He talked about how elusive he was, talked about him running downhill, talked about what type of gap blitzer he was, the aggression, the vocal leader that he was. Man, he talked about him so much. I said, Dad, like, this your new favorite player? Nah, but the boy can play. The boy can play the linebacker position. And then you look at that 3 years in a row, 136 plus or more.
Yeah.
And then he goes, then he leaves Tampa. There's some injury concerns. He only had 83 tackles in 2023. Got injured a little bit, played 13 games. Next year, he only played 7 games, only had 19 tackles. And now you're like, oh, there it is. Last year, 176 tackles, 2.5 sacks. The boy was back. This is a move. When you look at him next to Jack Campbell, this is something that can move the needle. And then he has that leadership of being on that Tampa Bay team and commanding that linebacker core as well as that defense. Thought we were going to get a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Just didn't know it was going to be Devin White. Thought it'd be Villa. I'm super, super excited. How has the response in Detroit been about Devin White? Has it been as excited as I am?
It has. And young Justin led the charge. He was very, very excited. You know, you mentioned it. This is a guy that has a major bounce-back season, former number 5 overall pick. And what you saw was actually 4 one-year contracts from 4 different teams in a 3-year span. So he leaves Tampa Bay off of his first deal, signs with Philly, never plays a game with them, ends up signing later with the Texans. They had a deep pool of good linebackers in a system that only put 2 out there at a time.
Yeah.
So he's not even really playing, and he finds his new home. And it works out really well with him in the Raiders, but only for a year. Get me paid. That's what he wanted. I think the biggest thing that we saw on Monday when we talked about this, Bray, we had a clip of him talking to the media at Allen Park during training camp, and he was looking for a home. Yeah. And this place, the way that we play aggressive defense, it suits him. It fits what he wants to do. And this is just yet another guy in the long line over the last 5 years since Dan and Brad have come here where they've given them the opportunity to come in and resurrect their career. Maybe re-sign here. We've talked about possibly a 2-year deal after this. This is his age 28 season. But this is a guy that has every reason in the world to go out there and bust ass and have a tremendous season for your Lions.
So excited to be back and talk about Devin White. I forgot to say hello to the chat. Chat, I miss you guys too, man. The most important part of the show. How are you guys doing? Tell me how you're doing in the chat. We'll read some of those messages. I definitely missed you guys, and I love you and appreciate you. But this Devin White situation is dope, man. It's dope having Devin White. If I told you, as good as Jack Campbell is, and we believe him to be one of those linebackers, we believe him to be him, a lot of people around the city and a lot of analysts. If I told you 174 sacks, 174 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 7 QB hits, and 11 tackles for loss, you would tell me those are Jack Campbell's numbers.
Yeah.
They're not. They're Devin White's numbers last year. And what I like about them, the Las Vegas Raiders, you see the 2 seasons where you had some injuries, had some inconsistencies, and now you're like, oh, man, this is it. This is where it starts to go downhill. This is why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moved on. You saw a guy go out and have those numbers in Las Vegas, of all places. And this isn't the Las Vegas now when you draft Mendoza, you bring in Kirk Cousins, you bring in Linderbaum and all these signings and Tom Brady, and everything's changing. This was Vegas last year. So to put out that type of play last year for that team, it says a lot. So when you say he wants to find a home, if I have that type of ability left, I'm not trying to go sign somewhere for 1 year and 1 year here and 1 year there and another bad team, a waste of my talents. This is not a waste of his talents. This is a home where we can get some things cracking.
Well, and he's bringing a ring here. This guy won a ring with Tampa Bay. This is a great fit. It kind of perfectly replaces Anzalone, right? Another guy that signed, at 28 years old, 27, 28 years old, around the same time. I think they're opposite career trajectories because, one, obviously, we didn't think that much of Anzo when we signed him. Obviously, the rest of the league doesn't think that much of Devin White right now because he did sit on the shelf. This is all about fit, just like it was for Anzo. Came here, found his role perfectly, and this is the same type of deal with Devin White, a guy that refound his positioning in the NFL, needed that home. I don't think he's going to be here long, but I think he is the perfect fit, man, and you've been asking for that linebacker. You got him.
100%. Asking for guys that move that needle, guys that when you look at them, you playing side by side, guys that can help you win championships. Either they have that championship pedigree, they have that championship experience, or they just have that type of talent. He has both. He has that type of talent, he has that pedigree, and he has that experience. This is one of the better signings that Brad Holmes has had in his whole tenure here. Like, in fact, if we looked at the top 5 signings of Brad Holmes, I would have Devin White at the top of that list. Like, for what he is and what he's coming in, he's not a player that you're getting a depth piece in, or he's not a player where, we can add him, but we still need to see what it is. He's showing you what it is time and time again. Throw those 5 up there right now. Here's my 5. Brad Holmes, and you tell me what you think. Number 5, Khalif Raymond. I think you look at him as a punt returner / kick returner / wide receiver, and also the leadership aspect. It's one of the reasons they definitely wanted to get him to Chicago, where he's not doing his thing. Saw that he cooked Jalen Johnson in practice the other day. Khalif's still doing what Khalif does. Number 2, Kevin Zeitler. Kevin Zeitler is a guy that I wanted to sign back again and again. The year that he had in 2023, 2024, phenomenal year. There's no reason why he still shouldn't have been the right guard last year for your Detroit Lions. Number 3, Carlton Davis. I think he's one of the better DBs that the Lions have had in the past 20 years. Not saying a ton, because we haven't had a ton of DBs, but he was one of those guys that he went out there and he played and made plays when he was on the field. Number 2, it's David Montgomery. It's David Montgomery. That one goes without saying. Realistically, he would be number 1 because you're waiting to see what Devin White does. But I'm so excited about
number 1.
100% because I'm excited.
This
is because I'm looking at when they were signed and what the energy was then. When we got Dave Montgomery, he was coming off a year where he wasn't necessarily a bell cow like that, but there was something in there. Just had to get out of Chicago, which a lot of players did that time. He came here. I remember his conversation. He turned into what he was here. Devin White is already that. Devin White would be the number 1 for me.
Yeah, for me, I'd have to shake this list up a little bit. Monty, number 1, certainly.
But see, that's recency bias because you know what he's done to this point.
Well, and sure, I think that Devin White could have a massive impact. I think that what Monty did for the offense as well as for the locker room it was huge. And we saw him go and get a deal because of what he was able to do here, even in the low usage that he had last year. Then after that, man, Zeitler was so good. I'd have to put him 2. I'd put Anzo 3, Carlton Davis 4, and then I'd put Devin White with a big TBD at 5 because I do think that this is a guy that if he fits alongside the rest of that linebacker core, you could bump him all the way to the top of this list very quick.
And I mean, for the sake of that, then maybe I should have put him at 5 because you guys are talking about what guys did for the Lions. I'm talking about when guys were getting signed by the Lions. Like Anzalone signed a $1.5 million deal coming out of the Saints, and it was
true.
It was like, okay, here's a guy.
At the time of the signing. I got you.
At the time of the signing. But nonetheless, extremely, extremely happy. I love this move. My only question, B-Lad, why did it take an injury to be able to go and get a player of Devin White's caliber? Like, why an injury? Why couldn't this be beforehand?
Yeah, to my best understanding, I know that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they evaluate their talent in-house. That's the way that they've done it. That's the whole track record they have. So, obviously, they're going to try and stick with the guys that they drafted and the guys that have been there for longer stints of time. Yeah. Even though, then again, I'm glad they recognized that they had a hole, especially after Jimmy Rolder getting injured. And, we all know that he's a rookie, and we drafted him in the 4th round. So I'm glad that they had the eye and the wherewithal to actually go out to the free agent market and see what was left there, and actually picked up a pretty serviceable linebacker. Like he is an absolute thumper, and I actually do think the Lions are going to have one of the more best tackling linebacker groups in the NFL. I believe Devin White had upwards 90 solo tackles by himself last year as well. That's adding on to his total tackles, which is incredible, especially, and me and Anson were talking about it yesterday. I thought he was way older than he actually was. He's only 20. I thought he was in his 30s. 28. And that's bad ball knowledge by me, but I was like, He
was the young guy. Levante David was the older linebacker at the time.
That is 100% correct, and that's probably who I was thinking of. But, once I saw the signing and I actually was able to go look up his stats from last year because I knew he was an impact. I saw him on all the Raiders highlights, even though there weren't really many bright spots, but he was a bright spot. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was in on every single play, every single tackle, run up the middle. He was flying out sideline to sideline. Dan Campbell talked about how he's still looking flashy. Might need to shred a couple pounds, but he's still looking flashy and quick. So, I'm excited. And like I said, the best reason I can give you for that is they do like to stay in-house. Like, we barely ever really see them branch out like that unless they seriously, desperately have a hole that they need to fill. And I'm glad they, like I said, had the wherewithal to go out to the market and actually hit on this.
Yeah, real talk. And I like the fact that I believe that Jack Campbell as well as Devin White can be complementary players. They're two different style linebackers.
Fact.
You talk about Devin White, man, he's a downhill runner. He's a gap blitzer. He's aggressive. He flies around. You talking about Jack Campbell, you talking about a guy that takes his time. He's patient. He sheds blocks. He's logical. He tends to read things out as they play. Those guys playing side by side next to each other, you can get some aggression in that position, man. Goes from a weaker position outside of Jack Campbell by himself to a stronger position on a defense. And you're talking about a defense where there are a lot of question marks. This team as a whole is a really good team. It's certain just some question marks here or there. Linebacker was one of those positions. Now you clean that up. Super excited to see what Devin White could be. Now you got to lose a couple LBs. That tends to happen a little bit when you don't get in camp on time, don't have a team. You're not in the summer or in the spring with a squad. You're working out kinda.
So we focus on all the total tackles. Are you ready for the bad news?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Missed tackle rate of 15.4%.
That's probably the reason why.
Which is ninth in the league, ninth worst. Mm-hmm. Highest targets allowed of any linebacker in the NFL last year. 105, and allowing the most receptions, 83 of any linebacker in the NFL. Poor completion rate allowed, 81% completion rate to his coverage, and 92.8% rating on every pass thrown his way. His run grade is not great. This is a guy that was basically, outside of Max Crosby, pretty much one of the only guys out there for the Raiders last year to make tackles.
Which is why you see some of those numbers. A lot of it is a reflection of the defense as a whole.
And sometimes you're going to miss those when they're all coming to you. So this is a guy that had a huge amount of work, and he capitalized on a lot of it. But in coverage, that's not his forte. So I think what you will see, as much as him being out there, they will try and take him off the field, I think, in nickel and third down scenarios. But largely, you're going to see him out there, I think, 85 to 90+% of your snaps.
Yeah, 100%. And also, too, I think that when you come to Detroit is going to use him in different ways. Like you alluded to, he won't necessarily be on the field like he was with the Raiders in every single down and distance, every single package. They didn't have guys last year.
Raiders didn't have Jack Campbell.
So, realistically, it's a situation like the Lions were bad on defense. What did you see? And we comment about all the time, we can never see it again.
Yeah.
Never want to see a Lee McNeil play an edge rusher. When you're in bad spots, you do bad things. I think that's what you got a little bit with the Raiders and Devin White. But hell of a move, and it happened when I was out in Portland. I was so mad.
So, Braylon, there's actually some more news coming out in the NFL. I wanted to save this, but I'm sure you'd probably see it or hear about it before we get to the segment. But the Washington Commanders made a wide receiver signing, and it's not who you think it is.
Okay.
But it's the one and the only Stephon Diggs. Just got signed by the Washington Commanders, $10 million deal.
JD5 and another toy.
Yep. Now, I was going to save it. I was like, Brandon, no, I'm just kidding. But I just got that notification popped up on my phone, and I knew you would probably hear about it before the segment, so just thought I'd throw that out there.
When they choose Diggs instead of you know it might be over.
Yeah, also too, man. They choosing Diggs in Chocolate City, man. You gotta watch out. Stephon Diggs in Chocolate City. That's boy, oh boy. I'm just saying. I've been to Chocolate City. It's a fun city if you allow yourself to get distracted. But that's a good pickup. If he operates like he did last year, you didn't see, with the exception of a couple things that came on off the field that had nothing to do with on the field, Stephon Diggs is locked and loaded for a young Drake May last year, and I think he had a very serviceable year. He allowed Drake May to do some things, and that's what they're looking for in Washington. JD5, same draft as Drake May, same age as Drake May. Want to get a guy in here that can provide some of that skill, because regardless of how you feel about Stephon Diggs, he can play.
Yeah, and when you look at Scary Terry, he's a lot more Amon-Ra St. Brown than he is J-Mo. And now they get their J-Mo. They get Stephon Diggs that's going to be able to really open things up over the middle of the field for somebody like Scary Terry. And that running game and their passing game to their tight ends, this is a nice move for a guy that's coming off of injury and Jaden Daniels that needs extra weapons to be able to get the ball out faster. Really like that move for them a lot. Not a Stephon Diggs guy, but I think he's realizing the writing is on the wall, man. Like, you only get one or two more ops, so you better take advantage of it in Washington.
Yeah, 1,000%, man. Look, we're going to have more on the Devin White signing, as well as somebody still has not signed a contract, while his counterpart in Atlanta, 3 years, $75 million, talking about the one, the only.
I got some super chats for you. Let's hang out for a little while till about 2:30 here.
Sure, why not?
Keep the super chats coming in, guys. You see this awesome piece right here. It's got that Jumpman on it. It's got the number 1 on it.
Jumpman.
And this guy, the legend right here, signed it. And speaking of which, Rando Smalls, $2. Welcome back, Mr. Edwards.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much, Rando.
It is good to have him
be
back. And Michael Wary with a double up here. First
What
one,
up, Mike?
Nice signing. Brad Holmes, keep up the good work.
Agreed.
This changes everything for you in a week, kind of? Like, because you were happy but not satisfied with their offseason.
I just feel like they could do more. I think this is along lines that where they could have did more, and it was the DB position, it was the linebacker position. You wanted to see them not add a piece, because they did that all off season. They added Damone Clark, they added Roger McCurry, they added players, they added depth, they added Wonham, they added Peyton Turner, they added a lot of depth piece. But you added a guy right now, a guy that can play, a guy that when I say his name, you know who he is. When I say his stats, you're like, yeah, I saw him. He shows up on film. Whether you were watching the Raiders games or not last year, he showed up in a lot of spots for that team. And when he played for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we talked about that Super Bowl. He just wasn't on the team. Like, he was a catalyst, a leader, him and Antoine Winfield Jr. You're talking about 38 tackles. He had 38 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. Like, this is all throughout that playoff run. That means he knows how to show up when the money's on the line. That's what you need. You need a guy, and he's vocal. He is a leader. He is not just, Kirby talks. Kirby talks with the best of them. We love Kirby and what he brings. Linebackers have a different type of talk. The way they're intentional is a little bit different. So now you have that on your squad. This is a major move. I like it for the Detroit Lions. I think this adds to what they are. This makes the defense better.
Yeah, and Michael Wary agrees. He says the best way to protect our secondary is with the front 7.
Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. It's going to be interesting. I know it's just one player, but it was a really good move for the Detroit Lions and Brad Holmes.
I got to ask you guys one more time before we do get to this break here. This is going out on Friday. All of your super chats are getting spots on the wheel, but it's not just super chats. You got to smash that like for us. And yesterday, all week, in fact, you guys have done an amazing job of hitting that share button, copying the link, and sending it out to your fantasy football thread, to your work text group. Whatever your text group is, get it out there, because we want you to share it with the people that want to be here and enjoy this show with us. We appreciate your support.
Definitely appreciate your support. Definitely appreciate your support. That Jahmyr Gibbs situation starting to get a little sticky.
It is, and I know
starting to get a little hairy.
That's where we're going to be coming back to. We got to talk about that a lot. But I know you were watching over the weekend, and I know the last couple of days
yesterday.
Getting your way back. Yeah, there was a very serious generational war here.
Okay.
Now, I think you and I are going to be on opposite sides of it. Stick and I were on one side. I had to run these young men here yesterday, but
it was me and Justin versus Anson and Stick yesterday.
As it relates to the
Jahmyr Gibbs getting paid.
Correct. And whether he should be paid or not. Now, there's a lot that we'll get into on the way he could be paid, how he could be paid, where and how much exactly he could be paid. But the specific debate was $25 to $27 million a year for the next 4 years. And the young men in the studio here were all on board. Stick and I were not. I'd be a cutthroat GM. You probably wouldn't like me a whole lot. I'd be trading him after I franchise tagged him 1 year, after exercising my team option. Obviously, we are in a very modern time and a new time in football, and I think that's the side that Justin's on. But I'm very curious to hear where a former player sits on that.
All right, bet. Well, look, we want to take a quick commercial break.
Yeah, let's
come
do
back.
that.
Let's take a quick
Absolutely.
commercial break. We'll come back, and we will let you know what side I stand on. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. 2,700 gyms around this country. It's the gym for you. It's the gym for everybody. Look, man, you come down, you march to the beat in your own drum. There's no judgment here. Locker rooms are clean, and there's trainers on staff. And they get new machines, I'm telling you, man. Like, I feel like once every 3 weeks you're seeing some new machines, some new ways to stoke the workout. Got to come to Planet Fitness and get it where your fitness is essential.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions, Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasto salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
You're building a whole combat sports enterprise in the heart of it in Detroit, and that's what I think is the coolest.
I think with opportunity, right? Like you said, maybe you like to punch people in the face for real, and you know, you want to be a boxer, and you have an option there. Maybe you don't like getting punched in the face, and you want to make, you know, you like the theatricals and the storylines, and so you have an avenue here. Maybe you start at one and then want to change to the other. I don't care. I just want you in the building and know that you have some place to go to explore that. Just having the ability to, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it to the best of your ability? And, you know, it all starts with the kids.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
It is another hot one out there. Get yourself an all-day IPA and refresh, because it's never bitter. It's always refreshing, crispy, and citrusy, and balanced with that 4.7% alcohol by volume. It's going to pace you throughout the day. You can find it at your local store, and it's been doing it for 15 years, and I'm talking about leading that IPA category. So grab yourself an all-day IPA today, but make sure when you do, you drink it responsibly. And then, guys, hey, you see the new thing up there? You see our guy D-Mac. He got it. He loves it. The price went up, but there is still thousands less than the competition. But there really is no other competition because nobody's been doing it for over 30 years like Yaldo has. Over 100,000 successful procedures, and we're talking LASIK. 8-minute painless procedure that'll leave you seeing 2020 the very next day. So make the call today, 248-553-9800. You can also find them over at the Yaldo at YaldoEyeCenter.com.
Welcome back in. If you just joined us, talking about Devin White, the newest Detroit Lion, as well as coming up Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Also, maybe a little bit of collusion in there between the two running backs. You typically hear that term as it relates to the owners and the coaches. But now, seems like some players have gotten together to collude a little bit. Let's just clean up the Devin White stuff. For me, like the move, think it's a really good move. Obviously, you know how Lions training camps are. He'll get in shape. He'll get in shape messing around with Dan Campbell, but this adds to what that defense now is. You got another stud alongside Jack Campbell. Like this move a lot. But here's the thing. Was it because of Malcolm Rodriguez getting injured or Jimmy Rolder getting injured that you felt the need to bring in Devin White? Because I was told it may not have been Malcolm Rodriguez over there, B-Lab.
Yeah, I definitely think – well, I think it could be –
Mixture of both?
Mixture of both, definitely. True. I mean, they saw a depth issue. I guarantee you that was like the main thing, and obviously they're going to go get the best guy available at the time. And obviously we know we know Devin White's resume, and it's a very good one. And that's another thing. He has more of a playing style. I guess you could compare the two. Jimmy Rolder and Devin White, more of thumpers. I know Rodrigo can move around a little bit. He's very lateral. He can move lateral very fast, and he's a very good sideline to sideline linebacker. But I know, as far as prototypes go, Jimmy Rolder and Devin White, they are similar. They're definitely nowhere near the same, but they are similar. They are both thumpers. That gap scheme where they can clog the hole, and they're good against the run and containing outside zone. Justin hit on that yesterday. He said, my biggest fear is to see the defense collapse in any outside zone run scheme. And that's what we got exposed with, especially in the last half of the season last year. We saw Pittsburgh do it to us real bad. Jaylen Warren was getting around that edge like it was nothing. And it was honestly unlike anything we've really ever seen before. So, like I said earlier, too, I'm just glad that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell recognize that an issue, because they usually do recognize when they have an issue, but they don't really find an adequate replacement for that issue. Like we saw the Legion of Whom. Like we had,
Agreed.
you know, not to bash anybody, because when you get to the league, you know, you're elite, or you're not. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You're good at football, but like, you know, it's kind of a skill gap between a D2 college football player and an all-pro wide receiver. You know, with the DB room that we were looking at last year. So I'm glad they were like, okay, we see the problem. We're gonna go get the top guy available, whether that was Devin White or Bobby Wagner. They ended up getting Devin White, who was still available. I don't know why he was still available, but he was. I'm glad he was, and we were the one team to get him.
Yeah, and I don't think that happens if just one of those guys gets hurt.
Yeah,
I
agree.
look at Rodrigo, and this is a guy that's slated to start. It's a guy that you trust, but we all know this is a late-round pick and a guy that's just going to get by on effort. Not a tremendous athlete, not a guy that's going to be a Pro Bowler by any means. Jimmy Rolder, I talked about it yesterday. My insider spent a lot of time with Jack Campbell, not Dan Campbell. Jack Campbell, and Jack Campbell was ranting and raving about this kid, Jimmy Rolder. So I believe that these guys, Dan and Brad, had it in their mind that the two of these guys were going to cover that position. It's going to start out being Rodrigo, and hopefully sooner than later, Jimmy Rolder at some point is taking that job over. So when both go down, you have to make a move. And I think to your point, the adequate replacements that they failed in the past years, I think they would have gone bargain basement shopping again if only one of these guys went down. Hey, we can wait for Rolder. We still don't know what he is. Hey,
right.
Malcolm went down. We can throw Rolder in there and see what he is. Let's just go get some stiff and get him on our fourth line of linebackers, and you know, hopefully we don't have to play him. Both of these guys going down is probably the best blessing, because I know, like, you wanted to save that money for the deadline. We still don't know what this contract is. None of the financials have been released. So it could be a smaller deal, which still allows us to do both. But bravo, Dan and Brad, for going out and getting a legit, adequate, more than adequate replacement.
Yeah, I agree, because realistically, when you're talking about trade line moves, saving money for this spot, you're saving money for a move like this.
100.
Like a move like a Devin White, where you add him to the team and you're going to need him moving forward. This is a guy that comes in. To me, it feels like, When I got to the Jets in 2009, they had just brought in Bart Scott. Now, I think Devin White is a much player linebacker than Bart Scott. But Bart had back-to-back years in Baltimore. He's 103.
He was a player.
He's like 100 tackles, a couple sacks here and there. He's a real good player for the Baltimore Ravens. He comes to the Jets in 2009, and he brings that leadership. He brings what he bought from the Baltimore Ravens. He brings from being side-by-side with Ray Lewis and having Air Reed behind him. He bought championship pedigree. He bought MVP, like, pedigree in terms of this is Ed, this is Terrell Suggs, this is Ray. He bought that energy and that intensity. Practices were intense when Bart Scott got to the New York Jets. I know because I got there a little bit after him, and I could just see his blueprint. But then when you play against the Ravens and you can see that, you can see Ray, you can hear that and feel that. So when you got a guy that comes from that Tampa Bay team was elite. Talking about that defense when it was him and Carlton Davis and Antoine Winfield Jr. Talking about Vita Vea up front. Talking about Ndamukong Suh. A lot of personalities and a lot of ball known in that. So that's the type of guy you bring, and I feel like it'll have that type of spike in intensity and knowledge as it did for us.
Yeah, I love this move. I hope they're not done.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's going to be Vita Vea, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little more depth for the secondary at this point.
Yeah, agreed.
You know what? Kirby's saying all the right things. We're getting in. It seems like a more and more positive prognosis for a quick return from Brian Branch. I wonder how comfortable they're feeling right now, and in terms of adding, because this really does so much for them.
Speaking of adding, they have not added Jahmyr Gibbs to the full practice roster. Yeah, he's still in a hold-in. Still in a hold-in, which is a holdout. Hold-in is a holdout. Hold-in just means you got a better relationship with your team. It means you and your team got a better relationship. They like you, you like them. You just want your bread.
The team gets to choose whether they say hold in or out.
This is fair.
Yeah.
That's 1,000%. Because I've seen guys that they was like, nah, you can't come around. Bijan signed over the weekend. And we'll use the Bijan contract to get to Jahmyr Gibbs. 3 years, $75 million. When you heard that, first thoughts with the contract, did you think it was a little bit much? Did you think it was right on par with what you thought was going to happen? Or were you surprised maybe a little under?
Sounds like the Atlanta Falcons to me. No surprise there.
Really is no surprise.
No surprise there. It's funny you say that, though, because you're all on board if the Lions do the same.
Oh, absolutely, I am. I mean, who wouldn't be? But it's like the Atlanta Falcons have a track record of doing this stuff. They signed Kyle Pitts. They signed Drake London. Simple as that. Of course they're going to sign Bijan Robinson.
Well, the Lions did the same thing. They signed Lee McNeil and they signed Kirby Joseph.
Yeah, so I hope we sign Jahmyr Gibbs.
But you're throwing shade to Atlanta and you're congratulating Lions?
I'm not throwing shade to it. I think Atlanta made the right choice is what I'm saying.
Okay, so Atlanta made the right choice. So as his contract.
Sorry, I'm importing
You just said that
clips.
they have a history of doing this stuff. I'm talking about my whole life they have a history of losing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they haven't been the most winningest franchise.
You know who else
yet,
does? You know who else has a history of losing my whole life?
The Detroit Lions.
And I think sometimes that our fan base is seduced into thinking that they think differently, and yet they want to do the same things that have gotten us into trouble over the last 6 decades.
So I guess you guys are not in favor of the contract by Bijan Robinson.
You know,
Oh,
they
I am.
all are.
Oh, I am.
That was the question. I got
They
no
all
answer.
are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's
so
a
you
good
thought
deal.
it was what you're gonna see.
But the thing is about Bijan's contract.
$51 million guaranteed.
It's-
Average annual 22.25.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
It's
Base
front-loaded.
contract
22, not bad.
66.75.
And it's only 3 years.
And that's if no incentives are reached. Plus, they don't have a ton of people that they're paying on that Atlanta Falcons roster. Also, he is the price of admission. He is indeed the price of admission. So the Jahmyr Gibbs situation, here we are. This is what Bijan signs for. So this is the next conversation. Is this what Jahmyr is trying to sign for? Is this why Jahmyr Gibbs is still holding out? Is this why he and Bijan are having conversations? And he's like, look, I got mine. You stay tuned to get this. Is that what's going on right there in Allen Park?
I mean, I would be.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, any business. Like, I was just talking back when I was a cart boy at a golf course. And me and my buddy down the street at our competition, yeah, we would be talking. What are you going to do to try and get a raise? What are you going to do to try and get more money? I get this. I mean, it seems like tampering. And if you're a Lions fan, I'd be pissed, because these guys are literally working in tandem to create their leverage. Now, I know what you're going to say about this, that the owners and teams have been doing this for as long as we've been alive, and they have, and they're despicable. I hate this, but I love it from a conspiracy Anson.
But what about it do you hate, and what is an issue as it relates to Bijan and Jahmyr?
They're under contract.
Okay.
They already agreed to it, and I know this is the modern NFL,
Right,
and that's how
right.
it works now, but that's what I have the fundamental issue with.
Okay. How many guys on the contract have the Lions paid ahead of time?
All of them
That
they drafted.
Did you disagree with all of them?
I don't like doing it and setting that precedent the year before your team option. I believe that the team option year should be the beginning of the extension year, and it used to be. It largely is in basketball, and now it's not anymore. Look at the problem we're having with Jalen Duren. Yeah. And
that's facts, actually.
The big thing is right now, this is your window. You just screwed last year. You're all apologetic. You're spinning all of your reasons and excuses as to why you only won 9 games, but you're not in camp while the rest of your guys are. And I get it, man. Get your bag, get your bag, get your bag.
Yeah.
The fact is I thought they wanted to get a chip.
I mean, yeah. I feel like that's the end goal for sure, but And did you hear the audio from Jahmyr Gibbs, actually? Like, did you hear any of the questions that they were asking him at camp?
Anime or what?
No, I was talking about it, like the other day at training camp. But
I haven't heard much from him. He's pretty quiet. I'd love to hear it.
So I don't have it personally because we couldn't show it, but unfortunately. But basically what he said is that he was asked, what's the reason for you like holding out? Like are you injured? Are you waiting for the contract? And after they said after the contract talk, he's like, no, it's not about that. And then they asked like, oh, when will you be back, Jameer? And he was like, only time will tell. And then one kind of more frustrated reporter was like, well, then what are you holding out for? Yeah, and all Jameer Gibbs said was, I don't know.
And Kool-Aid, who was here, shout out Double D, he believes that he might be hurt based on those statements.
Could be. And maybe that's, he's trying to protect himself, for the contract talk, at the end of the day. Like,
Right.
I mean, he's not how you're pulling a Tarek Skubal going to the media and saying, like, oh, yeah, I should have gotten my surgery in January, but I was up against arbitration with the team. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least he's not doing that, which I'm glad about.
Yeah, do me a favor. Put those stats back up here because this is where I'm at with the contract, realistically. This is a new NFL, and you can't legitimately tell me that you extended Lee McNeil, Kirby Joseph, and everybody else and not going to extend Jameer Gibbs when Jameer Gibbs is the focal piece for your offense. So you gave your leverage up when you got rid of David Montgomery and you said we're bringing in Isaac Pacheco. It is now the Jameer Gibbs show. There's one. You gave that leverage up. It's now the Jameer Gibbs show. You said that. Everybody around the country, the other leverage piece that Jameer Gibbs has is those guys that you extended, they didn't do anything overly special. They just had a couple good years. Jameer Gibbs has done something that no other players have done when you look at the stats. That's the other hard part. So when you're sitting at the table and you're trying to tell me I'm a running back, I'm going to say fine, but my stats compare with the best that have ever done it. You look at his yards. Bijan, more carries, more usage ratings, more percentage on the field, all those things.
Exactly.
All those things. Look at the stats.
Exactly.
Yards per carry. I would just start with the touchdowns. Like if I'm Jameer Gibbs' representation, if I'm Jameer Gibbs, I look at the touchdown.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
But wait a second. You've got an offense that moves the ball.
And he's a big part of that.
I know, but I'm talking about what they're saying at the table. I'm just talking about why we're probably still being held, and everybody else held themselves. I said that.
Do you believe that these are the top two running backs in the league?
Yes, because Christian McCaffrey will be my other guy, but Christian McCaffrey's in year 11. And so he's still there with them, but Christian's coming down, they're going up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm just saying, when they're at the table, when you're sitting down, you're having this conversation, you look at it, it's tough to negate
and
the contract.
They set Gibbs' career up for success. They added years onto his career with having Montgomery. And that's my whole point, Anson. I will die on that hill because that's how you do it. And we honestly, I'm not going to lie to you, it honestly feels like we've set a trend. Like, I get when the Patriots had that Super Bowl run, it was James White and Sony Michel, and they were like a little tandem. And then you had a couple other tandems in the NFL as well. But, we completely had, which very well could have been an RB1 as an RB1B with Gibbs, and at one point he was the 1A his first two seasons. I remember when people were getting so frustrated, and they were like, man, I can't wait to see this Gibbs guy play. Like, he's so electric. Like, we need to play more. We need to play more. We need to play more. Dan Campbell was like, no, we have a plan. We're going to extend the longevity of his career. He's not going to be a bell cow for his first 3 seasons. And he's going to remain healthy. And obviously he's not taking as many hits. And with half the carries that everybody else has, that were alongside him as far as the statistics go, he's right along there with them. And he has and half the carries as all these guys. And not to mention, too, a very effective in the pass game as well.
Yeah, we talked about Dan Campbell last week being a little bit upset. Looked like he was a little frustrated, wanting the deal to already be done. I thought the deal would be done by now, is what he said at that press conference. And I believe realistically, now you listen to it, he's talking to the front office. He's not talking to Brad Holmes. I think he's talking directly to Sheila Hamp because that's where the money has to be released from. But when you put those stats up there, whether it's Amon-Ra, Brown, and Jameson Williams, Sam Laporte, and all these stars that you have, which allow that to be in effect, and David Montgomery when he was here, the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to talk about the clip that we shared last week. And you were very intrigued by Brad's frustration. Yeah. And we want to figure out who they're frustrated by. Real quick, though, you had a Freudian slip, and I love AI. The Baltimore Ravens.
I did say Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens. That's pretty good.
I love AI, man.
That is actually crazy. You guys just
it's actually a clean logo.
It's not so bad.
Look at it.
What does it stand for? Like crookery? Reaganomics, if you will.
Trickle down in economics.
It's tough with this conversation as it relates to Bijan and Jameer Gibbs because like you said, you talk about all the stars that they have on the team, and yeah, you know, but it's just the world we live in. It's the price we live in. And it's what he's done. It's the numbers that he put up. Whether I want to admit it or not, his numbers are very comparable to some of the best that have ever done it in the window that he spent. And he doesn't have to be on the field as much, but he's still getting that output. He's still getting the touchdowns. He's still getting the yards per carry. He's still getting the scrimmage yards, if you will. I mean, he is an elite player. There are running backs, and then there are the special type of running backs. And the special type of running backs, those are dual backs. That's going to be your Jonathan Taylor. That's your Christian McCaffrey. That's your Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. And out of the special type of running backs, it's him and Bijan. And then Christian McCaffrey aging. But
in modern day times,
yeah,
we just see people doing stuff that we know might not be right, and we just start to make it acceptable. And if this would have happened, I mean, do you remember in '89 when Barry held out?
I do.
And people hated Barry Sanders. They hated him.
Yeah.
If this was going on right now on the heels of a 9-8, if this was going on, what's happening right now, 20, 30 years ago, a year that you are for sure under team control, not just a team option, which is next year, and you're not showing up in the window that the fans love to say for your championship right now, and that they're square in that. 9-8, you just barely missed. And to be honest with you, Jahmyr, the last 5 games of the season, you didn't really show up the way that you want to be paid to be. So I think it's just wild that so many of the fans are completely okay with this, completely down with this. And, when we come back, we'll talk about how it seems like the media is as well.
The Lions have a new CEO. We just the reports came out from
breaking news, huh?
Yeah, Ian Rappaport, saying that the Detroit Lions have hired CEO Richard Haddad as team president and CEO.
Yep.
Just
Steve,
now, 20 minutes
Lehman
ago.
got it in there as well. Appreciate you, Steve.
Appreciate that.
So we'll dig a little bit and have some for when we come back.
We'll see what's going
We'll dig a little bit because it's an interesting side to be on as it relates to it. You're on the Gibbs side getting paid now or the waiting to pay him till next year. Unfortunately, you put yourself in a situation where guys getting paid early.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yep.
How Aiden was what? Here's the thing, and this is where I thought the deal would get. This is what we'll say that when we come back. Right now, let's get a message in from Water Hazard.
Yes, sir. That's you, Sweet Potato Cam.
You betcha. Whether you're on the golf course at Art and Jake's or kicking it on Belle Isle, check out Water Hazard. It's the very first canned vodka brought to you from Founders. At 5% ABV, it is citrusy, refreshing, and gluten-free. Best served over ice with a slice of lemon, preferably. Get $5 cans at any Art and Jake locations throughout Michigan on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Please drink responsibly.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or bust Lions network.
Planet Fitness now has even more best-in-class strength equipment. Join today for $1 down and save.
We're stepping it up.
We're not slowing down.
Finding new face. New focus.
Love that new equipment smell.
So, you in?
Join the club today. Save when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet.
It's game on at Art and Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art and Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Jahmyr Gibbs, breakout season, loading.
Inside the 5, Gibbs to the end zone, touchdown!
Woodward Sports, the most dominant Detroit sports coverage around.
It's time to make the call. I know that you have been thinking about changing your future, breaking through that ceiling, and taking your family along with you. And Mortgage Pros wants to help you do just that. They are Michigan's #1 mortgage broker, and as you saw firsthand a couple months ago when we were out at their annual block party, they have amazing employee culture with awesome ownership. So make the call today. It's 248-416-1361, or visit their website, mtgopros.com, to find out more today.
So I do not have the buddies read, but Braylon, could you tell us about Icon Auto really quick?
I can tell you about Icon Auto if you would like. We're excited because they're a part of the team now in Icon Auto Repair and Collision. If you've been in an accident and your vehicle needs repairs, make sure you trust the team at Icon Auto Repair and Collision. They offer free car loaners and even offer to pay your deductible. Now that is amazing in itself, and also too, they're around the great state for you. Madison Heights, Shelby Township, and Pontiac. Pull up on them. They take great care of you. They'll take great care of your car. If you want to, just visit iconauto.com. It's the Icon that you can depend on.
Yes, sir.
Shout out
And
to
we
the
are
chat.
back.
Bray, they are sharing it. We got 300 people live in here. Smash that like button and get your super chats in. We want to hear from you. We want to talk to you.
Speaking of hear from you, and I want to say I'm sorry. I didn't even say what's up to my guy Sweet Potato Cam as we did the intro. Sweet Potato Cam, what's up, brother? How you feeling?
Oh, you good, B? You know, I'm well. I'm really riding high off these Tigers lately. 5-1 since high. Hey, I haven't watched baseball all season.
No. Don't you
start.
Real.
Just be real.
Don't you start.
I am though excited to watch every night now due to McGonigal and Max Clark. I mean,
yeah, the youth movement, baby.
Yes.
That is also something I missed while I was in Portland. Max Clark's first start. I did see that. He went after a little bit. Shout out to Max Clark and the Tigers. Okay, Tigers 4-1 last 5 games, 6-4 last 10. So there's something there. But the Tigers, but they're good for this. The Tigers are legitimately going to somehow sneak into the playoffs or make it a super tight race to the end just to keep you engaged.
Cardiac Cats.
I kind of like
the only
that,
kind we have in
I'm
Detroit.
here for it.
Shout out to Terry Scuba, first win. Oh, it was not a win last night. It was a loss. Sorry. Thought it was a win.
Right in out there in La La.
I think that's what Jack Flaherty did. I want to say when Jack Flaherty went out there, he lost his first 2 or 3 when he got out there after they did the trade.
I think you might be right, actually.
Yeah, but anyway, still talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, talking about Detroit Lions, the stalemate that is going on. Usually when you have situations like this, Anson, you're absolutely correct. A lot of times you'll have guys that, they hold out, but everybody holds them accountable. Everybody's like, you're still under contract. What's going on? The pundits, the media. It's a very different case for Jahmyr Gibbs. I don't know if people are wowed by his ability on the field. I don't know if people are wowed by his ability just to be calm, chill, team guy. You always see him support his teammates the whole 9 yards. Everything he seems to do, he does it the right way, and he is a quiet guy, kind of like Barry Sanders back when in the early 90s. I think because of all of that, you're starting to see everybody lobby for Jahmyr. You got people like Stephen A. Smith going on TV. Why hasn't he gotten paid? Pay that man what he wants. He had a whole meltdown talking about the Lions. He's never melted down talking about the Detroit Lions, but he melted down talking about Jahmyr Gibbs. You got people online, the bag, the money sign, the emoji sign. Everybody wants Jahmyr Gibbs to get paid. And to your point, I've never seen anything like it. And that is definitely going to work in his favor.
You mean the media wasn't doing that for you?
Hell nah. Like, first of all, holding out was absolutely crazy. And then,
what was your holdout experience, start to finish? Like, what did you get treated like by the fan base, by the organization, and most importantly, the media?
Oh, it was disrespect because I was a rookie too. So that doubled down on it. I was a rookie. I was holding out. Hadn't done anything on the field yet. How dare you hold out? Who are you to hold out? Et cetera, et cetera. So slightly different from being on contract and then holding out. But they weren't 4 players holding out. And then what teams would do is for quarterbacks, they would pay the quarterbacks early so quarterbacks never had to hold out. So you never saw Brett Favre hold out. You never saw Aaron Rodgers have to hold out, et cetera, et cetera. But other players, it made it tough. That's why this situation right now is behooving.
It is. It's wild. And I love the fact that you preface it with how soft-spoken and kind this young man is.
He's nice, for lack of a better word.
There are better words. It's like he's super duper nice. That's
True.
about it. And you don't see guys with that kind of talent be that quiet and that humble, especially at an offensive playmaker position.
Somewhere there's typically something to point at.
Yeah.
There's typically something to point at why he shouldn't get paid. The guy, he talks too much.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy's outspoken. Oh, the guy has a podcast. Oh, the guy dances and celebrates.
Sharpie.
Even his celebrations are kid-like.
They are.
Even his celebrations aren't like, T.O. dancing with the cheerleaders or doing something crazy, picking up a cell phone. It's Spider-Man poses.
That's right.
Things of those nature. So everybody is on board. And then he's a talent on the field. I think
truly is.
I think people that don't want him to get paid, like we're not paying attention to what he is when he's on that field. But to your point, there are times when that talent wasn't there. That's why you revamp the offensive line. That's why you bring in K. Mays. That's why you bring in Blake Miller with your first pick this year. It's going to be an interesting year, but when will it start for Jahmyr Gibbs is the question.
Yeah, I mean, we have no clue. And we're hearing this stuff from Brad Holmes right now, which we're about to share from you, which doesn't seem to shed any more light on the situation. I think it was interesting you brought up today about the clip last week with Dan Campbell and his frustration. Where do you think that frustration is?
It has to be with the money people, and that's not Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes comes up with the contract, but I think that money is approved by you-know-who. It's Sheila Ham. And I feel like this is the first time you've seen in this regime one of their guys that has done what they're supposed to do for the most part. There's time to re-up. It's time to pay, that they're dragging their feet and they're stalling. The only other time I saw a situation like this, and this was last week, I said, I wonder if from the Lions' point of view, do they want him to go out and show proof 4 or 5 games? Because they did it with Aiden. They didn't pay Aiden before the season started. Aiden didn't get his extension in off season. He didn't get his extension during training camp. He got his extension after the 4th or 5th game. He got
shortly
it
before he blew his leg out.
And that's another probably holdup for the Lions. But he didn't get his until 5 games into the year where they said, okay, saw what we needed to see. It's time to pull that trigger. They pulled the trigger, and then he gets injured. I feel like that's where they were with Jahmyr, too.
You know,
how you do business is technically how you do business sometimes. And I think that's where the Lions are. No, we love you. You're our guy. You're Jahmyr. You're Sonic. But this is business for us.
Yeah, and I think that's completely fair. I think the difference is that Jahmyr's been impactful from day one. And we've watched Hutch be impactful in games.
Impactful-ish.
Yeah, and where he racks up 2.5 sacks in the final 3 minutes of a game, and so his numbers look good. The year he got paid, he came in like a bat out of hell.
Yeah.
And he was terrorizing the league, on his way to a Defensive Player of the Year, in my belief, until his leg snapped in half. With Jahmyr, you've got something different. Even as much as I bring up those 5 games that he struggled at the end of the last season, his body work for all 3 years is very, very impressive. I don't think you need to let him go out there and play his way into this extension over the course of 4 to 6 games. You already know what you have. The one concern is this guy offensive line dependent? And if you have the offensive line that you think you have, because you just spent draft capital on it, you're spending money on it, if you have that core, because it's all new and it's young, like you said, left and right, they're all looking at new faces. But if you have that confidence in it, then you kind of have to. You got to lock him up, but you also have to run Pacheco a lot. You got to keep him under 325 and 350 in terms of overall touches, because he can have that career trajectory of CMC without missing 2 full years. He can be like your boy Frank Gore, where a lot of great years came after that rookie contract. So
shout out to Frank Gore.
We do have that audio as well, Anson.
Yeah, let's go ahead and run that now. We'll wait on the break. We'll hold you guys for a little while longer. I know you guys are hot on this topic. Let's hear what Brad Holmes has to say.
Pacheco coming over, we love the 1-2 punch. Feel like they complement each other. So where are you at right now? Because I'm sure you're in constant conversations with Jahmyr Gibbs and his team.
Yeah, look, I can only say, obviously we love Jahmyr. Me and Dan have always been believers in, that 1-2 punch. I just think that's kind of how this league is going now. And but we're having dialogue. We'll see where it goes.
It'll get there.
That's the hope. That's the hope.
The last 2 weeks we've come up here and we've we listened to sound from Brad Holmes just now. And last week we listened to sound from Dan Campbell as it relates to this matter. Both of them sound frustrated beyond belief. Like, just even at the end, he's we hope. Like, that didn't sound like a playful we hope. And I'm not trying to be the one sitting here reading. I'm trying to read through body language and read through answering and tone and all that. I'm just telling you what it feels like. It feels like we're not close.
Yeah.
We hope they're not close. And I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
that's the key word. You're exactly right, Bray.
Yeah, he does not like that word at all.
And it seems like, not to cut you off, Anson, both individuals, Brad just now and Dan Campbell last week, what did they first start with? We love Jameer.
Yeah.
We love Jameer. Jameer's our guy. You know how we feel about Jameer. We know how you feel about Jameer. There's an overabundance of we got to get this in first. Because I think both sides, I think they're at a crux. I think they're at a halt, and I think it's starting to affect what the Lions are trying to get set in offense, which is that chemistry, which is that bond, which is that feel for the new system, Kafka, because he's not an offensive lineman. This isn't an offensive lineman that once he gets in there, it's easier for an offensive lineman to jump in once camp starts 2-3 weeks late. You're talking about a running back that has to do with a lot of your offense, whether it's Kafka or Petsing. He has a lot that he has to learn from them, so
wow,
it's interesting.
Some interesting things in the chat here. First, Black Casper says, the hope? What's that?
I agree.
And in AC, that's the hope. I would just start preparing to play without him at least as Thomas Boyd. Is that crazy? Because Blackshear just got signed.
Shout out to Raheem
so
Blackshear.
I know everybody's laughing in the back office about it, but I don't think that anybody put 2 and 2 together of why this happened. This isn't a special team signing.
No, it's not.
This is, we're one running back short in training camp right now. Let's go get Blackshear, a guy that did shred the Lions a few years ago, by the way.
He did.
I will say, too, like as it relates to that, I'm not necessarily going to dive into that, meaning he'll miss the first game or they'll go into the season, because what happens is it's just about shares in practice. Like, it's about not wearing guys down in training camp, not wearing guys down in practice, having enough bodies to be serviceable through training camp. So I understand the level of that. But I'm trying to figure out why that energy is like that at those post conferences, why that energy is like that at the podium. Like, what was this deal? Where is it at? Is it ownership? Is it Jameer's side? Because if they're colluding, if they're having conversation that he believes he's just as good as Bijan, if not better, as a lot of people rank him the metrics, then I'm not coming off this point. And if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm like, do we owe you $22.5 million? I mean, $22.25 million, or is it a collective and why you guys are that good? Is it Amon-Ra St. Brown? Is it Jamison Williams? Is it Sam Laporta? Is it you and Jared Goff and everybody else? They all got paid, though.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the frustration with ownership. I think that there's some frustration towards the player, but they do love him, and that's something that you can't speak on. To Duncan Stewart's credit here, he says he represents the owner here in this club, the owners here in the club. Right. And Holmes and Campbell backed themselves into a corner, says Gumby. Listen, this whole situation, I think I'd be super frustrated
Campbell,
too,
though.
because when you look at the numbers, players that hold out don't have the performances that you would hope for. When they miss a certain amount of training camp, it's pretty proven that they have subpar performances that next year. You got to get this kid back in, and it sounds like there's no way they're going to get him in unless they sign an extension. And now they've been beaten to it, realizing all the pressure is on them. I can't really fully buy into that they've backed themselves in the corner here. I think that the fact that nothing is going towards the player is so indicative of how browbeaten fans have been into and just accepting the new way sports are.
Yeah.
And I know that we were browbeaten into accepting the way that the sports owners and the teams conducted themselves, but we were very willing to hate them while still selling out 0-16 games. So this one's wild.
The other thing, too, as much as we talk about the extensions, B-Lad and Anson, we talk about the extensions, we talk about who got them, we talk about Lee McNeil, we talk about Kirby Joseph. Those aren't first-round draft picks.
That is correct.
That's the other part. Those are not first-rounders. Those guys didn't have fourth-year option, 5 years. Those guys weren't making what you're making already. Those guys necessarily, we can pay you this money because we're not paying you anything. This is the second deal with somebody in the first round, or the third deal with somebody in the first round. Aiden Hutchinson, Jamison Williams, and now Jameer Gibbs.
Yeah. It's a frustrating thing for me as a fan, so I can only imagine how frustrated, and you saw it, you spoke to it, that these guys are. But
it's happened before. I mean, like, it goes. People love the old school. Last time I checked, Emmitt Smith missed the first 2 games of the season in 1994. 1995. Missed the first 2 games of the season in 95. You can fact check me. I mean, they won the Super Bowl that year. Yeah. Missed the first 2 games. They looked like ass. And so then Jerry Jones and his collective, he said, hey, we got to do whatever we got to do to get this deal done. And get the deal done. They ended up winning the Super Bowl that year. But this isn't something that's never happened before. But on the bad side, it happened with Le'Veon Bell as well.
But that positive outcome is about the only time that it's ever
worked in that favor. Yeah,
fair.
For sure. Let's hit that break. We got more on the Lions coming back, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, we definitely got more on the Lions coming. Where do you guys stand? Let me ask the chat. I haven't asked you guys that. Where do you guys stand? Has Jameer done enough to get this 22.25? And then we assume it's going to be a little bit, about the same or a little bit less, a little bit more, if you will. Where are you guys at? Are you guys happy? Does he deserve it? Are you ready to pay him and get this season underway? 3 ways that he can become the highest paid running back in a way. There's annual, which is the 22.25. There is base salary in totality, which is 66.2 or 75 hits all the incentives. And then there is the guaranteed money, which his guaranteed money is $51 million. 3 ways where he can be Bijan in something. So maybe that's a conversation for later. But
great question from She Loves Me on Payday.
Hey, haven't heard that name in a while.
When we come back, that plays perfectly into this conversation.
All right, well, Anson, tell me a little bit about Mad Packs.
Hey, I can have somebody else tell you all about Mad Packs.
Me.
There you go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I will tell you guys about the lovely Mad Packs. If you're a fan of Mad Packs, you already know they always bring the heat. But this summer, they're shaking things up with some massive new drops. Get ready for the Boom Shakalaka 200 milligram hash rosin gummies and high-low 200 milligram live resin. Alongside the brand new Mad Packs extracts, these are the perfect additions to your summer plans. Learn more at getmadpacks.com. Mad flavor, mad high, and you just know that that's just Mad Packs, baby.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking, and the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at DebtCityFC.com.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, we got a new deal for you. You see it there above my head. Get $10 off your $50 order using that code WWS26 whenever you head over to BuddiesPizza.com. They are the original, giving us that amazing Detroit-style deep dish for the last 80 years. It's not just pizza pie, though. They got pasta, wings, salad, all that good stuff. So head on over to the original BuddiesPizza.com. And then, I know it's home buying season, so maybe you're hungry, thinking about your new home or refinancing your home. Get on the horn with Supreme Lending today. Chad and Chris are standing by, waiting for your call. They want to walk you through the whole process from start to close and get you in the best form possible. Maybe a 0% down payment program sounds good to you. For sure, though, you mentioned Woodward Sports sending you, and we're going to save you up to $500 off of your home appraisal. Get on the horn today with Supreme Lending.
And we are back. I think one of the biggest questions is you're asking yourself, is Jahmyr Gibbs worth it or should he get paid? We've seen the stats, we see the numbers, we see the skill. It's what happens on the downside. Like, look at Christian McCaffrey. When you really look at Christian McCaffrey's years, do you think he's worth the money that he's been paid by Carolina / the San Francisco 49ers?
He missed 2 full years, basically. 3 and 4 games those years.
He's got, what, 9 years in? He's got 3,000-yard seasons. Missed 2 seasons. Missed a year.
What about?
And a lot of,
What about 1,500 combined?
1,500 combined what?
Yards through the air and on the ground. How many seasons like that?
Oh, shoot. Let me look it up. Yards from scrimmage. I think it's only 4.
Interesting.
If I was just saying off the top, just scrimmage.
And that's the worry, man. Is as good as CMC is, as much of us will look at last year's fantasy stats and say, okay, yeah, he's in year 11, but he's the best running back in the league, or has been.
True.
2 years completely missed. Now, after he missed those years, he came back and had really good years, but right before then, those years, as we read off the numbers yesterday, he hit that magic 375 mark. In fact, he went over 400 touches both of those years, which he then comes back and is lame. So if you're going to pay Jahmyr, you got to save him.
And I think that's what the Lions are scared of. Like, regardless of the money, and they know someone is owed or what somebody deserves. Let me say it like that, not owed, but someone deserves. That running back position it's a tough one, especially when you're going to use him like you use him. I don't care about the user rate. Obviously, you split time with David Montgomery. Now he'll be splitting time with Isaiah Pacheco. But they put the ball in his hands a lot, where they're passing to him out of the backfield, where they're handing it off to him, where they're doing some type of trick play. He touches the ball a lot, which when you touch the ball a lot, you get hit a lot. Yep. You get banged up a lot. You talked about missed 2 years. How about this? Last year, 2024, Christian McCaffrey, 4 games. 2022, 6 games. 2021, 7 games. 2020, 3 games.
Yikes. So. And that's exactly the question that She Loves Me on Payday is asking. What's the downside of Detroit paying Gibbs?
That part. Because you use him a lot. Like, you use him a lot, and right now he's as fast as ever. He gets out of bounds. He runs away from tackles. But, see, now you're asking him to go up the middle a little bit more. Last year you saw him run between the tackles a lot. That was one of the issues. We didn't have the best offensive line, and he was running between the tackles, which he's now done for about the last 2 years or so. You run between them tackles, you're going to meet your maker once or twice. Yeah, it's going to happen throughout the course of the year. It is. Ask Derrick Henry. For as big as Derrick Henry is, and for as much as he punishes people on the outside, when you see Derrick Henry running between the tackles, there are some people that have chopped him down. And I'm talking about taking him head on. So that would be, one of the things. He touches the ball a lot, whether it's in the pass or whether it's in the run. He is your weapon.
Yeah. And Randall Smalls, $2 super chat, I believe that he thinks that if we pay him, that now your secondary is filled out with cast-offs, and a large portion of your defense is just Legion of Whom year after year after year. And we have the best offense in the league. I don't think anybody wants to debate that. I'm sure that there's a couple other teams that would love to put their hand in the air, but top to bottom, the weapons, the future Hall of Fame weapons in Detroit, you can't match it. But the defense, year after year after year, goes underserved by the front office. And as much as we love this Devin White, what does this signing, this extension, what does it prevent the defense from ever being?
Add on, like, what do we need right now, realistically, on defense? Like, what would you feel better if we had another top DB and another safety?
Well, I mean,
not top
I'm going
DB,
to assume that our safeties are healthy.
A strong 3.
I'm going to assume that our safeties are healthy.
I think Brian Brent's more healthy than Kirby. Because that Achilles situation, we've seen people come back from Achilles a lot faster in these era, in these times with this medicine. I mean, remember Aaron Rodgers tore his? He was back on the field. He was back on the field taking dropbacks before the season was over in 2021. He was out there and getting it in. And I'm not comparing Jahmyr to Aaron Rodgers, but I saw Aaron Rodgers get back there and start doing some dropbacks 3 months after having that Achilles surgery.
That was the craziest recovery.
It was crazy as hell. He said he went the holistic route too. He didn't go the medicine route. Kirk Cousins kind of did the same. Did not do the same. He said it took longer, but he still was on the field the next year as well, saying that. But it's interesting.
2 things that I would want for this defense is a legitimate guy in the middle of the line. I like Tyreek, and I really believe in him. But the season that we need to have this year, I'd rather him be a rotational piece and grow into that startership. And then a corner with size. We just don't have any size on the edges in our secondary, especially while those 2 guys are hurt. But if we could get a legitimate, doesn't have to be huge, but please no more 5'10" corners.
Facts.
Please.
As it relates
strong perimeter guy.
Last thing on the Falcons and Bijan Robinson, and we can change because I know you already got your quick slants.
Well,
we always.
But we got She Loves Me on payday with another 5. So let me hear you.
Entertainment. It's the entertainment value. If I'm the Atlanta Falcons, it's easy for me to pay Bijan Robinson. He's the entertainment factor. Why are people coming to the Mercedes-Benz Dome in Atlanta?
Tua.
No. It's not Tua. And as much as you fantasy guys like Drake London, it damn sure ain't Drake London. It's not the inconsistent Kyle Pitts. It's none of those guys. It's an offensive line, which is one of the highest paid offensive lines in the league, and their running back, 2,300 yards from scrimmage last year, Bijan Robinson. It's very similar to Mike Vick. Like, they paid. Mike Vick was the second quarterback that had a $100 million deal. You were paying for the price of entertainment. Mike Vick was really good, but he was more entertaining.
Yeah, She Loves Me on payday with another $5 super chat. You are getting on the wheel to win this. All the super chats are, guys, so keep them coming and smash that like button.
Remind me, I can do a personalized message like once.
Yeah, we get some of that stuff in the future too. Any concern with Gibbs getting injured by missing the first few weeks of camp once he finally is paid?
I won't say injuries to missing 4 or 5 games,
a little hammy,
something serious. But that's where you get, like, when you miss training camp, when you're not in there for that, because you can still work out. Like, you can still go to somebody's high school and run up and down the field. You can run on the track. You can go to the weight room. You can keep yourself working out, but you're not getting those football-specific moves. You're not playing in one-on-ones. You're not doing team. You're not doing goal line and short yard. You're not doing red zone.
Not trying to outrun a scary-ass man.
Exactly. You don't have your helmet on in the pads. You're not doing the 2-minute drill when you're tired as hell and you're sweating and the sun is beaming in your eye. You're not getting that. So when you first come back, a lot of times growing like Mr. Moore, second pick, growing, hamstring, those are the type of nicks you get. So, yes, definitely can get a level of that. You definitely get, especially somebody like him. It's high feet, high speed, high velocity as he is, but I don't know about major injuries.
Charles Bosnack with some words for you. Bray needs to put his money where his mouth is. You got rid of Monty. You want to back Gibbs all the way. Prove it.
Say it again.
Brad needs to. Oh,
he said Bray. Oh my gosh!
I thought I saw Bray.
I read it like Bray too.
You did too?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
my bad, Charles. Brad needs to put. I'm like, why are you mad at Bray?
Yeah, when Bray's taking sprays.
What the world?
Easy, Charles.
I'm not holding out.
I know.
It's my first
day back. A long
back.
time ago, man. All right, Brad needs to put his money where his mouth is. You got rid of Monty. You want to back Gibbs all the way. Prove it. My man, he's not writing the check.
Yeah, that part. Sheila. She's okay in the check. She's approving. There's a sign off. There's, hey, look. There's, hey, Sheila, this is the contract. What you think about that? Sheila has to sign off on that contract.
Right.
Like, Brad can't just take a contract and present it to Jameer and his people. Like, hey, this is what we have. It has to go through Sheila. She signs off on it, and then they can present it. So I'll be interested to see what that looks like, because the Lions aren't giving Jameer $22.25 a year. Like, they're not. Like, they are not going to give him $22.25 a year, because if they were, we wouldn't be here already.
That's true.
We wouldn't be here.
That's true.
Like, it's not the 22. They're not giving him that. So they have to find a way to be creative to get him something along the lines of, give me a win. Give me a win somewhere. Maybe my incentive money takes my potential total to more than Bijan's. Maybe somewhere. There's a way you can get a win in there, but I guarantee you that $22.25, that ain't it.
Final word comes from Michael Wary on this one. He says to Charles Bosnack, it's negotiations. He's calling a shot, Bray. He says it will be done by this weekend. I hope you're right, Mr. Wary.
I hope you are too.
Yeah, you
pay that man
and everybody in Detroit, because here we are. Like, there's no way you can't pay him at this juncture, because realistically,
the optics of it,
and also too, man, sometimes owners get put in spaces where they have to fork up the money and just deal with it. I remember hearing a story about the Ultimate Warrior. I know this is a different subject, but Ultimate Warrior held Vince McMahon, held him hostage literally the night before a pay-per-view event. Like, he said, look, I'm not going out there to wrestle whoever it was. I think it was Hulk Hogan or Andre the Giant, one or two. He said, I'm not going out there unless I get an extra $175,000.
Solid.
So if you're Vince McMahon and you're doing a promo, you just sold this whole show as the main event, Ultimate Warrior versus maybe it was anyway, whoever it was.
You're not trying to hacksaw Jim Duggan out.
Exactly. You sold this. So in the 25th hour, unfortunately, even though he was a dick and how he pulled the move, you had to pay that man. He fired him. after the event that night, but he paid that man his money. I think it's a similar situation with the Lions in Detroit. This is the Lions back in the playoff, offensive line revamp, new offensive coordinators. The system is ready. You went out, got some defensive players. Like, this is supposed to be the Lions. Welcome back to the table. Welcome back to the table here. Facts. I appreciate you, Lions. So, with that being said, if he's not there, if he's not a part of it, it's not the same. It doesn't look the same.
Truly.
It's not going to feel the same.
Truly.
And they know they need him. So, unfortunately, whether he comes off as a dick or not, whether it looks like a premature move by I got so excited talking about the conversation. Regardless of what the optics look like, he's going to get paid.
Oh, that's the truth.
He's
Steve
gonna-
Lehman
he's
said
gonna
it
get
was
paid.
Macho Man.
I appreciate you. It was Macho Man. It was out in California. I want to say L.A. He said $175,000. I ain't going out.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It won't cost you that much money to eat Art and Jake's, fortunately.
I was about to say, what? It's going to cost you more than that to pay Jameer. But you're absolutely right. Not at Art and Jake's. Art and Jake's, 80 TVs, wall to wall, 22 beers on tap. It's the spot for everybody. It's the spot to catch a vibe. Now, Anson's over here talking about these Tigers, and they won 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to catch the next time the Tigers are on the mound. Maybe you want to catch them at Art and Jake's. And check out that menu. It's more than a sports bar menu. They got some of those favorites too, including the veggie bowl. Now, the chicken and broccoli bowl, one of my faves at Art and Jake's. And also, too, the people are good, the service is right, and they literally have spots all around the state. Go check them out, Art and Jake's.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Some days call for light, others lean bold. What about everything in between? All Day IPA, the easy choice for every day. Citrusy, crisp, refreshing. Flavor you can float with. Light on the hops, big on refreshment. 1's great. 2, even better. Brewed with you in mind. No shortcuts, no fuss. Big on flavor, never too much. All Day IPA. Hop into easy.
This is a hungry bear. This is Carl and Jeff. Carl isn't worried because he has focused energy to spare thanks to Thrive energy pouches. Jeff didn't use Thrive when Carl offered. The bear is happy about that. Don't just survive. Thrive.
Hunting season is almost here, Detroit, and your Lions are on the prowl. Make sure you're locked into Woodward Sports for all the Dan Campbell reactions. Jared Goff touchdowns, Amon-Ra first downs, Penny pancakes, Kirby picks, Gibbs big plays, and of course, Jack Fox's leg. Stay locked in on all your Lions coverage right here on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Now, here's the sign if a thing works. If you come back and you renew and you build that friendship and that partnership and you keep it going, that means the thing is working. And ladies and gentlemen, I saw my boy in the B-side here earlier today. A state title agency, they're in plans to renew with Woodward Sports. You know why? It's because we do things right just like them. Whether you're buying, refinancing a home, why don't you do it with a state's title agency? They just do it the right way. Over 20 years of experience in the game. It's my guy, man. And that expertise that he and his family have of being long stated in that business, in that realm, you got to come here. You got to come here for the experience. They make things simple. They make it convenient. They have late night closings. They have weekend closings. By appointment, though, got to get the appointment together. They make the process easy, simple, convenient, simple, all those good words. Come on down, State's Title Agency today. Yeah, man, I saw him in there. Boys looking like $10 million too, man. The BU's looking good, man. I see you with the shoes and the belt. I know we got Clint. Let's do the super chat. Oh no, you guys want to save that?
Let's save that for when we kick it off over to B-Lad.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I like that. B-Lad got his quick sense going, if you will.
You got a
football
final
in the
word
air,
here, Ray?
baby.
Yeah.
Did you want to wrap something up?
I would love to be a fly on the wall of this arbitration situation because that's what it feels like. Feels like an arbitration situation from Tarek School and the Detroit Tigers back in whenever the hell that was. And
that one didn't go well.
In February and March, but it feels like the Tigers are probably coming in with a low ball offer.
Yes, sir.
Like excuse me, the
very
Lions
similar.
are coming in with a low ball offer. Like they tried out for that man Tarek School, $19.2 million. What in the hell? Like, and I think it's a similar situation, but I guarantee they're using the same metrics that we're talking about, just spending. Just like you said, well, they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jameson, and Sam Laporte, and now the offensive line, Jared Goff, and you got Monty, but you had Monty. Like, that's the same reason why Bijan got what he got, though, because he didn't have all that and still has better numbers. And that's what the Lions are telling Gibbs. Like, hey, look, isn't it crazy when you have negotiations, you have to almost be a little bit overly truthful? Because I guarantee you, if I'm the Lions, I'm like, we see the potential and the ability that you have, but like you got an all-pro guy on the left, you got a Pro Bowl on the right, you got a Pro Bowl tight end, your quarterback's top 3 in each category every single year. Your David Montgomery also rushing for 1,010 touchdowns each season. Don't act like it was just you. I would love to be a fly on the wall in these rooms. So I guarantee you're getting ugly. That's why you see Brad Holmes look like that.
Stressed
these
out,
rooms,
man.
because he's probably having to divvy up information that they don't want to necessarily make Jameer feel that's how they believe. But it's a business.
And there's no worse timing for this because all 4 of these teams and GMs and ownerships feel so strikingly similar right now.
That's crazy.
Like
Scooby,
already,
Larkin,
but
Gibbs,
just unwilling
Doran.
to push themselves over that tipping point right now. All of them with their superstar who won't ink, and we're all left wondering, man. Every single one of our teams right now.
Yeah.
At least
it's honestly crazy.
At least with Jameer Gibbs, I'm like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, you do, but
Like,
we don't. We don't.
Jalen Duran, like, come on.
But remember,
bro.
it was one of you guys just 2 weeks ago. Like, isn't it weird that like we've got a guy on every team? We got Duran, we got Scooble, we got the guy, your boy, the hockey player. I don't even want to say his name anymore. Dylan, and then you got Jameer Gibbs. But we didn't think this was going to turn into this with Gibbs.
No.
We just kind of threw him in there because we needed somebody from the Lions to compare. But now this is the same shit.
And this is when you stand your ground. And Jameer and his team have stood their ground. And they're standing their ground because they've done everything right on and off the field. Unfortunately, that plays a major factor into somebody getting signed for that cheese. Are you doing – because that's the first thing they want to run to. It's like, all right, cool, we got him in the pocket. Well, let's point out that he didn't do this and he didn't do this, or he's out all night doing this, or he's got this, or he had this instant come up, or none of that is true. None of that is real. The only thing that they can point up to is – and it's a fun topic because the only thing they can point to is those moments. What about these moments where Jameer didn't show up? Like, what about these moments where Jameer didn't show up? And if I'm Jameer's people, what about your sorry-ass offensive line last year that was blocking for him?
You guys messed that all
up.
It's
like back and forth, back and forth. All right.
Now, last thing. If he's on the phone with Bijan, he better not be on the phone with Duran.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Duran is the one where I just don't believe in it at all. At least with the Jameer Gibbs conversation, I can get to the point where I'm like, you know what? Look, like he said in Rounders, pay that man his money. You may not like it, you may disagree with it, but I can understand this is what it is, this is what it takes. It's also not my bread. Pay him, let's move on. Jalen Duran, I don't care it's not my bread, because I know he's asking for something crazy. Yeah. I know he's asking for 50 plus.
And the league told him he's the third best center, but 29 teams told him he's not, including Detroit. So I should say 30.
Yep.
Anyway, B-Lad, you know what time it is. Quick slants. That boy up there looking good.
Let's go, boys. Hey, football is
got Keith
in
Abney
the
Jr.
air.
Break that press, man.
That is a Marion University DB. I don't know his name, but
Okay.
they're always a powerhouse. They're always looking good. I am on the IR. I suffered a camping injury right now, guys. My ankle is out of commission. So, but I'm gonna swing it over to a guy.
Hold on. You can't just gloss over that. Ladies and gentlemen,
nice try.
B-Lad comes into the office. Hey, what's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Immediately starts talking about his ankle. Okay, and that's not the crazy thing. B-Lad says he does not know how his ankle came to swell up and came to start hurting. Now, B-Lad's not guys going out and getting drunk all night and waking up and not. B-Lad's healthy, works at a gym.
Yeah, right.
So for him not to know is very interesting. I said it kind of feels like when Kirby Joseph said, "I just woke up and my knee was swollen."
Yeah, like I pulled the Kirby Joseph,
Ankle
guys. I don't know what happened.
What's going on with my life?
Really though, like that's so true. I woke up, came down the stairs this morning. I'm like, man, my foot hurts, and you know I work at a gym on the side of here. Some of you guys in the chat
You
know.
have another job now? What sports?
Oh, I mean, we gotta make something happen after college, but
baby.
yeah. So, but some of the guys at the gym, they tap in, they follow along with the show. So you guys, shout out to you guys out there. But yeah, I came home and my ankle was swollen. But we're gonna talk about a guy that used to be injured all the time that is actually in the same division as your Detroit Lions, and this is the QB battle between Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy, because it's stirring up some conversation on Twitter, and People are nine, baby, nine. You know what I'm saying? But so we have some footage here that we can get you guys' reaction to. We have the little 3-shot here. That's a dot from Kyler Murray to Jetta's right off rip. But then we got J.J. McCarthy. Sack. That's an overthrow. And then we got play fake again. It looks like the exact same play. Sack, overthrow. And here's J.J. McCarthy back shoulder fade the end zone. Broken up.
That's a pick.
Yep, exactly right. And there was multiple reports as well saying that even on air, J.J. McCarthy was missing his targets. Now here's Kyler Murray again. That's a hospital ball. So it's not looking too good on his end either. But at least he's making completions and not overthrowing. But there were reports saying that J.J. McCarthy was even overthrowing guys in pass skelly, routes on air, stuff like that. And my only question to you, Braylon, is how much of an impact do we think, or do we even, if we feel as if there's a competition going on during the season, because we saw the Vikings move on from J.J. McCarthy multiple times. J.J. McCarthy was hurt. He wasn't ready. There was stuff like that where he, didn't really fit in there quite a bit. Do we see some of the same sort of things with Kyler Murray? Like, let's say if Kyler Murray struggles a bit, do you think they roll in with J.J. McCarthy, or how long do you think J.J. McCarthy, if he keeps up this kind of performance, do you think he's going to last with the Minnesota Vikings? Because personally, I do think that Kyler Murray is going to win that QB battle. He should win that QB battle, but it's always been a weird slope of QB emotions, and Kevin O'Connell, obviously the QB wizard, but Minnesota, really, their main issue was kind of their quarterback for the last decade in a way. They had Case Keenum, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. Like they kind of went through the whole list. They ultimately had success. But what are your expectations going in for the Minnesota Vikings this year with Kyler Murray and the J.J. McCarthy legendary quarterback battle?
Hey, you put some respect on Case Keenum's name. Okay?
Oh, no, he was a dog.
That's the Minnesota Miracle, man.
Facts.
Not named
Facts.
Gordon Bombay. See, if you know, you know. You like that pull right there. No, really, see, two things about this. Thing one is Kyler Murray is the number 1 overall pick. Now, regardless of how you feel about him, what he did his time in Arizona and blah, 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 Arizona is a poop organization that has struggled for years and years and years and years. Kyler Murray was a deserving number 1 pick. Like, when Kyler Murray had the best at his access, you're talking about playoff team, you're talking about 11 wins, you're talking about, you can see why he went number 1, you can see the things in there. So
yeah,
you give him Kevin O'Connell, you give him the quarterback whisperer, you give him a guy that was able to help Baker. Look what Baker did. This is a similar situation to Baker going to Tampa. Hey, look,
people wrote him off.
We want to see what it is. We want you to prove it. If you're number 1, if you're like that, then you're rise to the occasion. Well, Baker rose to the occasion. I think it's a similar situation with Kyler Murray. J.J. McCarthy, unfortunately for me, as it relates to him in the NFL at University of Michigan, I loved him. As it relates to what he did in 23 and 22 and 21, I love that as well. I love his mental. I think he's a great young kid. But when it comes to the game and me just being an analyst, at Michigan, they did not prepare him to be a quarterback in the NFL. And what I mean by that is it was 3 yards and a cloud of dust, like Ohio State and Michigan in the 60s and 70s. All they did was run the ball to Haskins. All they did was run the ball to Edwards. All they did was run the ball to Blake Corum. And when they're not doing that, they're handing off jet sweeps. They're handing off fake motions. And when they're not doing that, oh, here's a little play-action fake. Here's Jake Butt. Here's Colston Loveland. Here's Schoonmaker. Here's another tight end. So he didn't necessarily develop reading the defense, going through his progressions, adjusting in different coverages, seeing it on the fly, and going against the type of defensive lines that he's going to see on the NFL on a day-to-day basis. So unfortunately, it worked out for Michigan. It worked out for his legacy there. But in terms of being a quarterback at this next level, he's behind the 8 ball on things. And Kevin O'Connell, former teammate of mine, he's only so good. He can only do so much. So I think JJ is so far behind the 8 ball. That's why now this is year 4, 24, 5, 6. This is year 3 for him. You're still seeing signs of him being a collegiate quarterback or a younger quarterback. Yeah. So, yeah, I think Kyler Murray, you got to give him the keys and give him the keys right away. Because I think, 1, he's showing you he's better than JJ in camp. But then, 2, I think he's got something to prove. And guys that have something to prove are dangerous when they come in contact with Kevin O'Connell. You don't believe me? Ask the Super Bowl champ from this year, Sam Darnold.
Yeah, Black Casper says JJ's not a fit there. He just needs to leave at this point. He's defeated, and they gave up before he was ever really given his time.
Yeah,
probably
that could be true to some extent. Yeah.
You guys do remember, this is the same team and the same quarterback that had a situation last year where they allegedly, but it wasn't no alleged about it, they faked an injury.
Yeah.
They not fake. They basically told him that he was not ready to play. Meanwhile, we saw him on film. We saw him on the sideline. We saw him more than healthy enough to be a quarterback on that team. It's not like the backup was Case Keenum. It wasn't like the backup was Gardner Minshew. The backup was Brosmer.
Yeah, it was. And that's another thing, too, is like I vividly remember watching that first game that he started, Minnesota versus Chicago, and that whole first half, he looked like a lost puppy out there. And like the Soldier Field was rocking and rolling. People were super loud, and you could tell he wasn't really been in an atmosphere like that before. It was a week 1 game, and then he showed out, and he ended up coming back and winning. Like, they ended up winning that game, which was insane to me. But that whole first quarter, I'm like, oh man, this guy doesn't look ready. It's just one of those things.
He won against the Bears exactly how he won against the Lions. He had the 2 touchdown passes, and then at the end of the game, he ran for a touchdown. That touchdown ended up being the deciding score. Like, don't get me wrong. And that's why I said he's not a terrible football player. I just said as a quarterback, he's behind the 8 ball, what he learned in Michigan. But in terms of being a gamer, he played in Michigan. He played against Ohio State. He played against Georgia. He played in the national championship. He went out to Pasadena and threw the pass to Roman Wilson and then went down and beat Alabama so that they can go to the national championship. So he still has that big game energy. It just doesn't come out as consistent because he didn't have the type of prolific passing as a quarterback. Like, you go first round as a quarterback in the NFL, at least back in the day, but you go first round, especially top 9, because I think he went 9th or 10th.
Something like that.
Like, you have stats, and you have film, and you have, say 3-4 years worth of critique. You have 4 or 5 years worth of growth and learning and understanding of concepts and, and plays in the West Coast offense or however your offense is slated. Offense wasn't like that. It was turn around, hand the ball off to whichever one of them running backs is behind me. And then if not, play action, and here comes the tight end. So that's tough.
I don't think the book is written yet on JJ.
I don't think so either.
He does need an opportunity either through a new city or an injury. But this is Kyler's team, that's for certain.
Yes, sir. And that takes me now to this next topic here, Sweet Potato Cam. If you don't mind pulling up the highest paid wide receivers versus guaranteed or for guaranteed money. Right behind you, we had a signing. We had an extension.
Come on.
We had an extension.
Come on.
The Baltimore Ravens ended up signing.
Shut up.
I'm going to spin this a little bit here. But Zay Flowers, $108 million guaranteed. But here's the thing. This makes a certain receiver that's real and deal to our hearts. That is Amon-Ra St. Brown's contract look like an absolute steal because he is actually 12th in guaranteed money in the NFL. But Braylon, do you think this is an overpay, or do you think he deserves this money?
Let me start with I think was the first thing you said, or technically it was the second, because I think when you asked that question, Nick asked about the first one. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameer's situations are different in this regard. Jameer and Bijan Robinson are resetting the market. Like resetting the market. I'm talking about when you do a market reset like that, that was Jamar Chase. That was Micah Parsons. When you reset the market like that, that means, hey, look, we don't care what somebody's getting paid. We know that they're the best player for the job. We're going to pay them exactly what they want or somewhere close. That's a true market reset. That's a true market reset. What Amon-Ra St. Brown did at the time in the Lions, kudos to them. This is one of those deals they got right. They just slated him to be just a bit above what the guy was getting at that time, but they knew that it would catch up, kind of like Matt Stafford in 2017, I want to say. He reset the market for he reset like 2 hours.
Yep.
And then it was like 3 guys signed, and then a couple days later guys signed. So that's different. Zay Flowers, oh my God. 108
guaranteed.
That means you're drafting him in the first round, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, no. It was at 30. He's making $35 million a year. 108 guaranteed. That's a lot of money. I mean, you look at his stats. I mean, he's first year 858, 5 touchdowns. Second year 1059, 4 touchdowns, and then last year 12, 11, and 5 touchdowns. For me, it's not about yards. It's about touchdowns. And if you're talking about paying somebody money like this, you're talking about extending them to some bread. Like this is dumb as hell by the Baltimore Ravens or the Baltimore Ravens. Like it's about touchdowns. And in 3 years, He's got 13 touchdowns. That is not hitting pay dirt enough for me to pay him and green light a 108, but he's there. He's the best wideout.
No, yeah, I personally agree with that.
They spending money like Reagan's in office still.
You ain't lying. Reaganomics is Reaganing out here.
That's what I'm saying, too. And there's a boatload of guys that you can rank ahead of Zay Flowers.
Yeah, a boatload.
And that's what I'm saying. And so
Talking
the thing
about
is,
the poor man's Rashi, right?
It could be. I mean, I do think Zay Flowers, slot guy. He's very good in the slot over the middle. But the thing is about the Ravens, I've never really understood the philosophy about this. But they always
don't understand offense.
They don't understand offense, and they don't surround your best player with weapons. Like the entire year, they were clamoring and getting a receiver, signing a good receiver, getting Lamar some toys. Yeah, they went out and drafted Zay Flowers. They had DeAndre Hopkins at one point. They had Odell Beckham Jr. at one point. Like these are their
aging out players.
Sort of like this is my attempt to give them toys. Now I do think their draft this year when they drafted Jacoby Lane, and I forgot the other guy's name off the top of my head. I'm sorry for all you Ravens fans out there.
One in the third, one in the fourth. And
yes.
They're fighting it out for that third spot.
I do like Jacoby Lane, 6'4", big body type of guy. He's actually a very fluent route runner. He's got good hands. He was a dog in college. I do think he's going to be a good complement to Zay Flowers. Like Rashad Bateman never got it done. Like it's weird over there how they treat their guys. But I do think this is a little bit of an overpay. I do think Zay Flowers is a good receiver, but not $108 million guaranteed money.
He's no Kelvin Benjamin.
$108 million.
Kelvin Benjamin, what a pull, baby. That's a good pull right there.
That was from the chat. Shout out J-Rod.
$108 million Zay Flowers. I would went out. I mean, he's under contract, but I would have went and got somebody. Like, this is crazy. $108 million for Zay Flowers.
Because, that's the middle-class version of J-Mo right there.
When you're talking,
I'd be pissed if I was J-Mo.
Like, when you're talking triple digits, I'm talking about somebody that comes out here and changes the dynamic of the game.
Like the four guys under him?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Like 1,000%. Like when I see Zay Flowers up here with them, I'm like, there was a typo, or this is something goofy, or this is, what is this? It can't be about the talent. It can't be about how good they are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on this game, man, because he's really good in space.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good at the top of routes. So he can create that, help me out, B-Lad. Space, separation.
Yeah.
He can create separation. He's very good at the top. He's very good in terms of moving people off their block in the middle. Like, he probably can shake somebody in a phone booth. Like, he has that type of shakeability, but 108 worth?
You said that you want to be a fly on the wall during these negotiations. I want to be on the
There was no negotiation.
Not in this one.
Zay Flowers, people came in with a gun. $108 million.
108.
Sign. Like, what is that?
I want to be on the fly on the wall in Dallas.
They're
right
not paying
now.
anybody else, though. It's him and Lamar.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's not getting paid like that. Mark Andrews not getting paid like that.
Correct.
There is no more Isaiah
Mark might. We'll see. He's towards the end. But listen, I want to be in Dallas right now. I want to hear the conversation between Pickens and CD when they read this news. Man Beast Morris, $5, says this reminds of when Christian Kirk broke the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Great pull.
Yes,
Great pull.
The Jacksonville Jaguars were absolutely smoking crack because $24.4 million annual for you see, I remember the. There you go. Gotta say allegedly.
So weird.
Gotta say allegedly. My apologies.
On Roblox.
You know what? You're right because I actually saw that this past weekend in Portland. So you're right. This is alleged. But Christian Kirk, 24.4, is no longer on the team now.
Yeah.
And now he's on his second team since there.
Yeah.
Because he left Jacksonville, he went to the Houston Texans, and now he's with the 49ers.
Man Beast Morris says Zay Flowers not even better than J-Mo, which I agree with.
First of all, hell yeah.
They're built very similarly. They're both super fast. I think J-Mo's ceiling is just
Zay Flowers is nowhere near.
You can't take the top off like J-Mo.
No, not the same speed.
Where would you rank J-Mo? Like, you don't have to say
let's do that tomorrow.
Specific.
Let's do that tomorrow. That's a good one right there. Because where do you rank Pickens? Because to me, those are the two best number twos out there.
Mm-hmm.
T's pretty damn good. Addis is pretty damn good. But
Pickens would have been. He'd been like 14 to 18 going into next year. I mean, last year.
Correct.
But then after you see what he did, and then especially when CeeDee Lamb was hurt, a lot of that too. Like, unfortunately, that put him in a different strategy.
Top 8?
Yeah.
Top 8. Now, this guy, J-Mo.
Because I can't unsee it.
Yeah, you
right.
can't. You can't take that season away from him.
I can't
And
see
J-Mo is just tantalizing, man. He's got a guy ahead of him. In fact, he's got basically 3 guys. Whether Laporta is healthy or the ball's going to Jahmyr Gibbs, you got to deal with Amon-Ra, that's for sure. And then they go and spend all their capital on another big white receiver. Listen, you put J-Mo with the Reagans.
They're going to be trying to pay
You
him.
put J-Mo with the Reagans? Come on.
Hey, that's all. Florida boys too.
Yeah, facts.
Telling you.
And I will
108.
That's what I'm saying. I will be swinging this back to
It's like
the
a Kenny Galladay contract.
It is because he got the contract and sat down.
Yeah, he got 20.
Yeah, he did get. He was
20 a year. He had 2 touchdowns in 3 years.
He was one of the highest. He was one of the highest paid at that point too.
Yeah.
Then he sat down. But to each his own, I guess. But I'm gonna swing this back to the NFC North. But this one's gonna hit home because it has to deal with your Detroit Lions. I actually have 2 clips. Okay. One of which could be concerning. I mean, here's the thing, guys, and the thing is about this, guys, is obviously we know it's camp. We're not trying to overreact. We know, because I did see a segment this morning while I was working out at the gym on one of the TVs, and it's like, don't overreact. Like, camp is nothing crazy. Like, this is nothing that we need to go put our focus on right away, right now. Do you guys want to go to the break first before we get into these last clips, or do you want to keep it rolling?
Let's roll them quick.
All right, yeah, we'll roll them.
This Zay Flowers stuff is killing me. Hold on. just hold it. Because there's nothing exceptional. Like, when you're talking about triple digits, when you're talking about 108, when you're talking about the guarantee for a wire, not guaranteed, but talking about the total contract, like something you had to be special somewhere. When you look at his stats, the yards, not special. Good, not special. The touchdowns, below average, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So then you look at what? Yards per catch. His yards per catch is like 14.
Yeah, no, Olave actually just got a very similar contract too, and I had an argument with a kid in my group.
I like Olave.
I like Olave a lot, but people were also saying that could have been a stretch as well, the money that he got. But it's not. His contract is way different.
Olave is better.
He is better.
Zay Flowers.
All day.
I agree. I take Olave 10 times out of 10.
Not yet.
But taking this back to your Detroit Lions in Allen Park, I have some footage here of a wide receiver that we drafted last year, and he's going up against a cornerback that we drafted this year. So I'm going to play this clip really quick. If you guys want to look at your monitor, here we go. Teddy two-glove moon ball, underthrown. Dominic Lovett against Keith Abney for a big score. Now, there was another angle, but I couldn't pull it. But this right here was
hold on.
This was yesterday.
You didn't hit me with a distorted image. I can't even. So I want to see how Dominic Lovett. I want to see Dominic Lovett. I want to see how he got past him.
It was a very the play. It looked like he was in the slot and he ran motion out. Yeah, it motioned out and then ran a fade down the sideline. And I think it was a zone. The defense was in a zone and it just put Keith Abney in a bad position. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, guys. When it comes to overreacting, I'm not going to say like, oh, Abney's out here getting torched by a 6-round pick, Dominic Lovett. Like, no, obviously iron sharpens iron, but at the same time, this is Dominic Lovett, and he seems to be looking a little flashy. I saw some other clips of him yesterday where he was looking good in one-on-ones and stuff like that. This is a guy that isn't talked about at all. We drafted him out of Georgia last year, and his Georgia tape wasn't even half bad. And he's kind of fighting for the roster spot right now, especially with kind of the loaded group we have currently with Dortch, Tesla. Obviously, you're getting lower, but do you see Dominic Lovett, let's say, because we just lost Kendrick Law. We just lost Kendrick Law to a torn ACL. Do you think we could possibly see Lovett in a specific role, like if let's say Dortch goes down, or we have specific packages out there for Dortch, and then we have specific packages out there for Lovett. Lovett is flashy. He's quick. He has good hands. Like he could
happen, but you don't want it to be, lad.
That's at the end of the day. Correct. Yes, you're right. And that's one thing. That's a hard part about this as well.
No. The answer is absolutely no. Like Dominic Lovett, I saw some of that tape last year as well. Got him out of Georgia. I want to say we didn't draft him. Is he 6?
I believe we
drafted
did draft
him, but more so for special team purposes.
Yeah,
and he was pretty good on punt. I did actually watch his punt coverages.
So going to that highlight, look, it's training camp. Like you've been going against the same guys, doing the same stuff for 2 weeks now. You're tired. You go things happen. Like I've seen guys, I can't remember their name, route up Darrell Revis in training camp when he is not necessarily paying attention. It happens. As it relates to him getting on the field, there's too too many weapons.
Sure.
There's too many weapons because Dortch is a guy that's trying to find a fit. As you heard by Dan Campbell say, look, we love Dortch. We love some of the things we've seen out of him. He can get his fit. He has to fit in or get in where he can because there's Isaac Tesla, there's Jameson Williams, there's Amon-Ra St. Brown, there's a healthy Sam Laporta, and there's 2 running backs. Well, at least we think there's 2 running backs in the backfield. So I think this is just a camp highlight, camp play, a camp MA, if you will.
I mean, you love to see the receivers eat. That's my thing.
It did look good. It did look good, and if something goes down, it's like, all right, cool. We got another guy that can step up because the next man up retaliate.
Absolutely.
It is real here.
I know this. Lovett and Kirby need a podcast together. 2 best interviews on the team.
Yeah, no lie. And really quick, we have best on best, Hutch versus Penne. Really easy, very quick, simple question for you, Braylon. What's your expectation for Aiden Hutchinson? Because we need him to step up big time.
It won't be in practice. Not against that guy.
I mean, these are some solid reps. These are some solid reps.
This one, he don't beat him at all.
No, he doesn't. He gets stoned.
But go back to that last one.
Yep.
Watch the get off of Aiden on this one right here.
That's that chop.
He wasn't happy with that.
But
I'm going to run it back one more time.
So not the first play, but the second. So not this one. Watch the get off on Aiden right here. Joker got the hell off that ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he got the hell off the ball. And the fact that Aiden Hutchinson, who's probably, what is he right now? Probably 270?
Yeah, I'd say ish. Yeah, probably 275.
Like 275-ish, you know what I'm saying, 6'5", whatever. The fact that he can generate that much torque, that fast, in that space, and run into a wall.
Right.
And Panay Sewell is a monster. I wanted to say that. For Aiden, I think this has got to be a 17. And I know people say, it's not about the numbers for me. Shout out to Justin Miss you. It is as it relates to Aiden Hutchinson at the sack total. Like, I need 17 out of him. And the reason why is, you see the number I chose, right? You like that number. Reason why I chose 17 is because, look, he's one of those DNs. It's time to step up and show up. Everybody knows what you can do. We see it on films. We see it in short spurts. Everybody values like that. They rank him. He's never less than about 4 in the defensive ends in the league. It's go time. We've had the year. You've come back from surgery. You've been good. You've played through that. Like, you've taken steps each year. You've seen him get better. And that third year, you saw where he was going before the injury. We've seen it all, and we know it all. He hears the people, whether he admits it or not. He hears the people. He sees the film. He saw the games where he didn't show up in. He saw the games where, Kyle Hurd or whoever the hell was calling the games, Mike Tirico, didn't mention his name but mentioned Jack Campbell's. This has got to be a show out and show prove for Aiden Hutchinson. He is technically the best player on that defense.
Yep.
And when he's playing like that, it's not close. Like, as much as we crack jokes of we love Brian Branch and, man, Jack Campbell's our pro, like, they're not better than Aiden Hutchinson. They shouldn't be better than Aiden Hutchinson. This year, I got to see it out of Aiden because it's time.
He was coming back from an injury last year.
This is that's why
just like Aleem, I think that these two have a hell of a year. But we got a hell of an alternative to dip.
Yes, sir.
Tell them about it.
Tell them about it, Cam.
My bad, y'all.
Flip that switch, baby.
Flip that switch. My bad. Afternoon coffees are a thing of the past, though, because you've got Thrive Energy pouches. But check it out, it ain't your daddy's dip. It's tobacco-free, nicotine-free, mental powerhouse of smart caffeine. No sugar crash, no jitters. Thrive can be found online at dipstop.com. Remember to use that promo code WSN for 15% off your entire order. Found exclusively at all Market Fresh and Market Square locations. Thrive Clean Energy. They flip and work, y'all.
And if you like promo codes, I got another one for you to save you 30% off at my favorite location, Loom. That's right, guys. There's 40 of them in the state. You can order online using that QR code above my head. Whether it's in person or online, make sure you use that WSN30, and that's going to get you 30% off. Your first 3 trips, they're going to hook you up with some free stuff too. And when you're there, make sure you check out that new Buzzin' Energy drink. Check them out. They are Loom.
The next generation of Detroit sports media is here. Crunch Time is back on Woodward Sports. Join Jeff Iafrate and Booner Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Taking Detroit sports coverage to the next level with massive interviews, viral moments, and the best live reactions. Get ready, Detroit. The young guns are taking over. Crunch Time on Woodward Sports.
It's game on at Art & Jake's. Wings, burgers, pizza, and ice-cold drinks served up with attention to detail. Wall-to-wall TVs, great service, and a vibe that keeps your crew coming back. Art & Jake's, a sports bar setting with a fine dining flavor.
Experience summer in Detroit with pro soccer at Keyworth Stadium. Every Detroit City FC match brings a new reason to show up early and stay late. Tickets available now at DebtCityFC.com.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Hey, yo, it's your boy B-Lad. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Amnesia. Amnesia is proud to be available at the top dispensaries across this great state of Michigan with multiple products for adults 21 and up. Their newest launch is The Switch, a 2-milligram dual-chamber disposable featuring liquid diamonds. With 2 chambers and 2 different flavor profiles, you can enjoy the left and the right, or both together for a unique combination. Discover your new favorite with The Switch by Amnesia that I don't have currently. But you can also enjoy that with a massage chair at the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, the biggest massage chair warehouse. They carry top brands like Infinity and Osaki, making it the go-to destination for premium comfort and cutting-edge wellness technology. Be sure to visit Dr. Eric Duncan, the wellness doc and creator of the #1 YouTube channel for massage chair reviews at The Wellness Doc. Book your visit today at MassageChairHouse.com or simply scan the QR code above my head for more information. And last but not least, we have Gold Crown. Stop everything you're doing for a second because Gold Crown just went completely overboard, but it's in the best way possible. They just dropped the new Royal Jesters, and these are not your average pre-rolls. We're talking 1.5 grams each, and they are quad infused, keef coated, and resin infused THC diamonds and terpenes, all packed into one. That's 4 layers of you're good after this. These aren't your hit it twice and pass it around pre-rolls. These are why am I analyzing this game like a coach right now pre-rolls. Michigan made, top tier, no shortcuts. Next time you hit the dispo, don't think, just ask for the Royal Jesters. Because if you are going to smoke, you're going to smoke like royalty, I'll tell you that.
And we back.
We back.
Oh, you said stop everything we're doing. Right, stop. That was me.
Hey, we're stopping everything we're doing.
Before we come back, I know Anson has some super chats, and actually one in the chat that we haven't heard from him in a while. Excited to hear what
straight from Canada.
You know it.
Was he setting those fires?
It looks to be a little bit more chill, man. We can ask him about that too. Giving you some watch material. All right, 4 shows that I'm currently watching that I thought were pretty good. I'd like to share with you. One of them I think is one of the best shows on TV. It's from Taylor Sheridan, who's doing all the good projects, if you will. Lioness returned for season 3. It's with Zoe Saldana, Morgan Freeman, Nicole Kidman. Like the intensity in these war scenes and these grabs and their mixtures with the CIA and the war and how they work together in some of these projects, like it's intense. It's a really good show. House of Dragons is interesting.
Tough season.
Yeah. Because it started off with a bang. It went good. Like, I need them to lay off the incest a little bit. But outside of that.
Those are the Targaryens, bro.
True, but like now you're seeing a little bit.
It's customary.
Like, but now it's everybody. Like, at least with them, it was Jamie and Cersei.
This season is brutal.
Yeah.
And they did it on purpose.
Yeah. 100%.
It's the whole era of the story. Yeah. It was a tough era.
So, 100%. So, check that out. And then Cape Fear finished that last week on Apple.
I'm about the last 3 episodes I haven't gotten to.
Shout out to Javier Borman.
I didn't realize how far that went back. There was a movie in the 50s.
91.
Then there was the
original.
50s. Yeah, I didn't know about that one. And then obviously De Niro in the 90s. So
And then here's a fun one for you. When Wolf of Wall Street came out, it took the nation by storm. Everything was great. Leonardo DiCaprio, he plays Jordan Belfort of Oakman Stratton, and you saw what it was like to be a trader, to be on Wall Street in the 80s and early 90s. Well, you know how movies are. Movies over-dramatize and over-exaggerate a lot of things. The real Jordan Belfort was a real piece of work. You should watch the documentary. It's a 3-episode documentary on Prime. It's called The Real Wolf of Wall Street. They have the guys in the movies, the characters, like all the people from Jordan's crew, Oakman Stratton, or is it Stratmont Oakman, Oakmont Stratton? All these real characters are in the episodes, in the documentary, and they talk about it. They said the movie didn't nearly capture how crazy they were.
I bet.
And now you gotta see like how.
I don't think they want us to know how crazy they are.
Because it also goes through their eyes. Because a lot of them are now doing different things, but it's fun because a lot of that stuff isn't true, and the stuff that is fun. So check that out on Prime, The Real Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. So 4 watches for you. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. I appreciate those because
No
I'm going to check
problem.
out Linus.
No problem.
You're looking out, B.
You know, I apologize before we started the B-Lads Quick Slants. I was going to yell out Rando's Super Chat. Are we ready for some football?
We sure are, baby.
Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Hall of Fame game is tomorrow.
Crazy.
I know.
I'm so glad we're not playing in it.
Yeah, I know.
Sure.
I'm so glad we're not playing that, but I am glad that we're playing in the preseason. I am glad we're playing in the preseason. Get some rhythm, get some chemistry. I know it sounds crazy.
Let's go,
well, they're in the NFL, you don't need it. That's BS.
Let's go, baby. Raw Biz.
Hey, shout out.
It is your right to do it raw. $2 Super Chat from Canada. Aleem is the best defensive player. Hutch just benefits. How about that?
That's an interesting take.
Well, he wasn't last year. I can say that with some authority.
Nah, I'm not going for it. Because I saw Aleem was just as inconsistent as Hutch in his rise up in 23 and 24. It was just as inconsistent, but you did see it. When you saw it, you saw it. To your point, when you saw it, and I think they were inconsistent together. Hopefully both of them, removed from injury and come back this season and just get things done and have the same accord. And maybe they both have that same clock in their head this year. Hey, look, I gotta be what I gotta be this year. I got paid. They believe in me. They stood by me. Now it's my turn. But I don't think Aleem is. That's semantics, but when you get drafted second
that's
overall,
for damn sure. Charles Bosnack is going to finish off this thing today. Listen, chat, you guys showed
up I
today.
Sir, chat.
If you're still here with us, please smash the like button. If you haven't already, you got us to 100 very early. Let's keep going past that. This is going out Friday, and all of these Super Chats are going on the wheel. We're going to continue to do that for the next 2 days. We really appreciate you sharing this thing out and showing up and supporting the way you guys do day in, day out, week in, week out. Final one. He talked about Brad putting his money where his mouth was earlier. He comes back and says, Hutch needs a little help to break through. Yeah. He comes back, $5, and by that, I mean Hutch can't expect to generate numbers when he's already taking on 2+ guys at once. He needs someone to add the pressure, and hopefully that's Aleem.
This is real. This is real, but once again, we have to stop using this conversation. He sees double teams. He sees triple teams. Because do me a favor and look back at the top 5 defensive ends for the past every season for the past 40 years. Yes, guess what? They are getting double and triple team, and they find ways to still impact the game, and they find ways to make plays. So, Aiden, it's your turn. And we saw he has the ability to do that, so I'm not giving him an excuse. How many times did we see him beat double team last year? A couple. But now I need to see him do it with stars on him. All right, now check it out, man. I'm excited to be back. We're in the fold. This is the Braylon Edwards Show on Woodward Sports 2.0. My man Anson, B-Lad, as well as Sweet Potato Cam, bringing you the news as only we know how. We will see you tomorrow with more on your Detroit Lions and Detroit sports. Go Tigers. 5 in a row. Can
Let's
you make
go.
it happen?
We'll be talking them tomorrow.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.